the action you've taken or you plan to take on those. That's number one. Number two, with regard to the statement you're saying you bring here in 2 weeks, I would propose you take it to the Committee on Physical Infrastructure, so that together with your technical staff, okay, you go through it comprehensively, and if the committee finds it needs to report here, it will report. But here usually the report is for resolutions. So if it's not for resolutions, then the committee would just help you to enrich, and then you keep engaging with us here. I think that would, but there are specific questions which the members raised. They're very, very specific, which were not general, which needed quick action from you as a minister. Okay, like the issue of, I expected you to respond to Honorable Pio on speed overtaking lanes in the busy trading centers where they are working on the road. Then the issue raised by Honorable Isaac on the road for Gori, which we passed. I think Honorable Linus also, but there's one for the Prime Minister from Honorable Linus. Please, I don't know if you can.
Right, Honorable Speaker, on the issue of the
issue raised by
the road sign on the road, we mentioned it even in the last Parliament that you're working out on the plan. The road signs we have, they are so attractive, more especially they are metallic. The ones we put, they are so attractive to our people. We're working on the plan to bring the ones which are not attractive so that they can last long on the road. Most of them we use the poles, and where we put the signs, they take them, they sell them in terms of scrap. You arrest people, tomorrow they come back. But we're working out a plan where we can have those ones which are not attractive, which can last longer. And we remain committed, we shall do that. Then the issue of bring back the speed governors, I've noted that one is concerned. We're going to go back and see to our people. We see how best we can bring it up, serve our people. Then on the Nebigori Road, Honorable Speaker, we are working to ensure that finance finalizes with the contractor, and very soon the contractor will report on site once he finalizes everything with the Ministry of Finance. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Honourable Minister, Cracker will request you forward a copy of this component of the answer to the Minister on those specific issues which members raised. And he's able, because I know how he works. Now he will quickly move into action. Right, Honourable Prime Minister.
Right, Honourable Speaker and members. I have two questions. One is on the issue of testing our drivers before they are recommended to have a renewed license to drive on our roads. I have been sharing with the former Minister of Health, and she has told me that the facilities to check all our drivers are in our national or regional referral hospitals, national and regional referral hospitals, where they can check your non-communicable diseases such as hypertension, diabetes. They can also check your eyes to see whether the eyesight is okay, because there are those drivers who cannot see during night, and many others. So let us advise our communities to take advantage of the already existing facilities in our regional referral hospitals. On the Kampala-Gulu highway, where we lost 64 lives, I would request my brother to provide me with a list so that including the names of the deceased, the the next of kin, their contact, the districts where they come from, the villages where they were buried, the next of kin, and their contacts. Then we shall take it to the president. Our president is a parent. He will definitely support those families with the 5 million Uganda shillings and the 1 million for those who went for treatment. But those who went for treatment, we will need evidence to see that they were treated in the hospitals. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to submit.
Thank you, Right Honorable Prime Minister. Matters of national importance, Honorable Natwinde Rehab. Colleagues, I have your names here, I don't need to stand up. I have your names, those who are cleared.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Rehab Natwinde, Member of Parliament from Ndogwa County West. Right Honorable Speaker, we have an issue of Kabale Lake Bunyonyi Road. Last year, the government of the Republic of Uganda launched that road, and it was meant to promote tourism and business around Kabale. But unfortunately, the contractor, Samcrete Egypt Contractors, has abandoned the site. He has actually removed all the materials, and we are wondering, and the people of Kabale, especially those who are involved in the tourism sector, are actually worried. The businesses are down, and even the production levels have gone down. So, Right Honorable Speaker, I wanted to inquire from the Honorable Minister of Works so that you can intervene. The man.
Honorable Minister, I'm the one who launched that road on behalf of the President. What has happened? Even the contractor brought equipment. Did he take them away after?
Right Honorable Speaker, I know the road, Kabale Lake Bunyonyi, and that contractor is the same contractor who was going to work on the Mugainga Road. Those are our tourism roads. And as I speak now, we are considering terminating the contract of that contractor on grounds that he had no capacity. And my technical people, they informed me this is a loan. When you're taking a loan, this should be through competitive bidding. They had written to the bank that we shouldn't have a contract with this person when they had anticipated that the person didn't have capacity. But the bank refused and accepted, said, let's take this person. Actually, we have received information, even the bank itself, they have instituted an investigation why, when our officers raised the red flag, but the bank went ahead to procure this contractor. But we are taking up within a few weeks, we shall have terminated that contract, and you will get a new contract on board. This morning we met the African Development Bank people.
Please go ahead.
We agreed. I've also been consulting the Minister of Finance. We are working out the plan, and it has given instruction, yes, as you bring the plans to terminate, but also bring the plans to get the contract immediately.
Thank you.
And we shall solve that mess.
Thank you. Honorable Mafabi Asha, clarification is to a member holding the floor, and I don't have any. Honorable Asha Mafabi. Procedure, Honorable Samba, procedure. Sorry. Honorable Mafabi, you can sit.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, there are so many projects of the nature that the ministers talked about that are being abandoned. These people get the contracts, they are paid a big chunk of the money, and they take off. And that is a very big problem, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, before he runs to terminate that one, can we as Parliament, Right Honorable, ask the Minister to come with all abandoned projects to this House so that the Parliament is informed, but also Ugandans are informed and decisions are taken with our information so that we know what to do when we are
Honorable colleagues, Parliament doesn't have anything to do with terminating contracts. That's not our job. Okay? So what I would think, Honorable, we have just instituted committees. What I expect each committee to do is to invite the sectors that are responsible for updates on what is going on in their sector. Okay? And from there, they will take on this job because we assign them. Yes. For example, the Committee on National Economy. I expect it now to call the Minister of Finance to come and give an update on all loans we have approved, which have not yet concluded. And then we take it on from there. The Committee on Physical Infrastructure, I saw the minister in papers as summoned contractors. Now the committee should summon him to tell the committee what the contractors told him. Okay? Like that, we are going to work together. So, but yeah, I think it's good progress. He's very, very proactive, Honorable Yamukama. So if we support him, and also colleagues, if you know abandoned projects in your areas and you inform him, I'm sure he will take action. Honorable Mafabi, Asha.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to join everyone else to congratulate you on acquiring your seat again. Honorable Deputy Speaker, sorry about that. It's my first time, so I'm nervous. Please forgive me.
No, it's a maiden speech, you're protected.
Thank you. Members, unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, Sironko, among other districts in the Elgon region, have faced landslide problems every single year. Sironko has lost people and cattle and land, arable land, annually because of landslides. I raise on a matter of national importance because we have 1,645 victims who have not been relocated, and the cracks which were formed are expanding. We're expecting El Nino rains, and the science is the rain seeps and further drags the soil. May I continue?
Maiden speech.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm humbled. Right Honorable Prime Minister, we are grateful for all the efforts of government, but we are requesting that the process of relocating is expedited because we are at risk. This is information from the district officers. Thank you so much, members.
Right Honorable Prime Minister, and congratulations, Honorable Mafanga.
Right Honorable Speaker and members, I remember in 2023, we all agreed, both government and parliament, that the way forward for our people who live in the enclaves of Mount Elgon, those risky areas, should be relocated to safer places. We have so far relocated 1,200 people. We all agreed that we give these people 2 acres of land and 100,000 so that they can relocate to safer places. Honorable members, getting a big chunk of land in Mount Elgon is next to impossible. We bought some land last year around Ikweni and we relocated the people there. Now, on Monday, we are going to cabinet. We have a cabinet paper ready for discussion on Monday so that we can change the approach. We want to give our people the money for 2 acres so that they can look around their areas of origin. Because as a government, I'm being sincere to you, whatever piece of land you get, there are encumbrances. And because of that, we are really struggling. We have 56 billion to help those people. And now, the way forward is to allow us to give the money for 2 acres for them to look for their own land, and the other 10 million. Thank you so much.
Right, Honorable, I think it's important to come and brief the House after you have confirmed it in Cabinet.
Yes.
I don't want people to take it from here. The Prime
No,
Minister.
this one is not yet approved by Cabinet.
But Honorable Msira John seems to wanting to ask you something urgent with regard to that. You know, Rastaman missing.
Rastafari, thank you. Right Honorable Speaker. I want to agree partly with my sister, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, for the little you have done. We have a bulk of work to do. Right Honorable Speaker, I visited Bulambuli just a week ago. The squalid conditions under which our people live, even possibly, not even a kraal, not even a dog can live like that. The African dog, I mean. In the tents, separated, especially those of 2024. Those IDPs of 2024, yes. They take 1 meal per day, Right Honorable Speaker. So they are in permanent fasting. Muslims can fast for only 30. These ones have fasted for more than 2 years. Families separated, men in their tent, women in their tent, and the conjugal rights suspended for over 2 years. You can imagine. Right Honorable Speaker.
Right Honorable Prime Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker and members, you will recall in 2024, we had landslides that claimed a lot of life in Bugunya, that is Bulambuli district. We put those people in a camp, and the government has been supporting those people until February this year in the camps. We decided to decommission these camps. Why? Because whenever we would take food, people from the mountains would come and take all the food. It was very difficult for us as Office of the Prime Minister. And so we decided to get land. Those were the people we gave land first. But when these ones were given land, others brought themselves in the tents, and they are waiting for food. So since February, we decommissioned the settlement area of Bunambutie. And we are trying to relocate these people so that they can get permanent homes and help themselves. So those who are there are either our people who ran away from Mbale town, and we are no longer giving them food because we decommissioned that settlement area.
Thank you. Right Honorable Prime Minister, I'm seeing honorable colleagues from the region all eager to ask more questions. I would request you hold the meeting with the MPs from the region. Okay? Tomorrow at 10, the Prime Minister has committed. Tomorrow at 10 with Sebe. Tomorrow at 10, tomorrow we have business committee. You can do the next day, right, Honorable Prime Minister, on Friday? But arrange. You communicate to them, okay? Yeah. Please, Government Chief Whip can coordinate for you the team so that you discuss these issues in a meeting. Otherwise, we cannot discuss only one region, picking MPs from one region to discuss an issue. Yet, we cannot conclude on it. Honorable Karenzi Victor.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Dr. Kalenzi Victor, the Member of Parliament representing Unyangabu County. I raise a matter of national importance in Unyangabu. We have a very big problem. I don't know if you will call it an outbreak of cancer
2 weeks ago, I lost my son, and I want to thank members who came to condole with me. But in the same week, we buried over 12 people dying of cancer. We have 2 sub-counties of Kiombia and Ruimi where people are still taking Crater Lake water. And there's a river called Intabago. If you see water from that river, the teeth get rusty immediately. People in those areas are still taking bilharzia tablets monthly, and these bilharzia tablets are given according to the size and height of the people. So big people. Tall people like some of the MPs you are referring to yesterday would be taking about 10 tablets, and shorter ones like me would take about 4 or 5. So I'm imagining the water that is actually causing bilharzia could be the same water that is causing cancer. So one, I'm praying for the Ministry of Health to intervene and find out, because we have 49 people on palliative care in Bunyanga. 49 people are waiting for the day of death. And many people are going to hospitals when it is too late, when cancer is in stage 4. So I'm praying that the Ministry of Health to intervene, and also to provide clean water in areas, especially as a matter of emergency, of Kiombia and the Ruiru sub-county and Kabunio, because we are suspecting the water there is having probably dangerous minerals that could be causing cancer and bilharzia. So I'm praying that the responsible ministries to intervene.
Thank you. Right Honourable Prime Minister. Thank you. Of course, the Prime Minister can always assign any.
Right Honourable Speaker, we have taken note of the issue. I will inform Ministry of Health to institute an investigation into what is in the lakes and the 2 rivers, Ntabago and Rukongo rivers. And then they will inform us of what their findings are. I thank you.
Thank you. Honourable Namboze.
And for the water source, we shall inform the Ministry of Water. She's here. She can give them water immediately.
No, Honourable colleagues, Honourable, don't mind. Just, yeah. Let us first do the investigation. We know whether it's from, the problem is even from the water. Okay? And give feedback. Honourable Namboze. Honourable Namboze.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, there are disturbing reports in the press and in the social media that there is a possible diversion of funds, money up to a tune of 51 billion, 14 million US dollars to be specific, that was meant for the servicing of loans that ended up on private accounts in foreign countries. Right Honourable Speaker, the reports show that His Excellency the President directed the Minister of Finance, Henry Musasizi, to account for the diverted money, specifically 6 million US dollars $6 million that was earmarked for the World Bank, and $8 million earmarked for the African Development Bank, respectively. Right Honourable Speaker, if this is true, that money that was supposed to be paid to MJS International Limited in London, UK, and Lordway Company Limited in Japan, ended up on private accounts that were closed immediately the money was deposited and withdrawn, that becomes a very grave and important. Like, therefore, Right Honourable Speaker, as a matter of national importance, to pray that the status of this matter be given. A general report is made comprehensively about the servicing of the debts, because, Mr. Speaker,
Thank you, Honorable Namboze. Honorable Minister for Finance, and then I can guide after.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, the matter Honorable Numbers is raising is a matter which has been with us for quite some time. The investigative agencies, including Auditor General's Office, CID, our own ministry, and also the Financial Intelligence Authority, has been involved. The matter is before a court, and some people were arrested, taken to Luzira, and they are out on bail. Their matter is still in court. I cannot say much because it amounts to sub judice. When this matter was brought to the attention of the president was concerned that why have we taken wrong to, if it is true, why have we taken long to recover? He requested for the report to recover the money. He requested for the report. We are working on the report. For now, what we comment on that. Mr. Speaker, when our letters get to leak into social media, but this is a matter into social media, and some of the people were wondering.
Procedure.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I think the powers to determine sub judice or not, when we're in the House, resides with the presiding officer, who is the Speaker. Now, maybe you first guide us whether the matter is sub judice or not, then that would give us a proper direction on how we proceed.
Thank you. Honorable colleagues, the minister is giving his opinion. Okay? Now, if I find the matter is sub judice, I would agree with him. If I don't find it sub judice, I will tell him. So I'm just waiting for him to conclude, and then I give my guidance.
Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, I want to say that when this matter went into social media, some of our friends whom we compete with in politics wanted to take it to another direction. I want the public to know that I report immediately to the president, and in so doing, because of the nature of my assignment now, almost every day I have a directive from the president. So when you see the president writing to me, he's writing to me as a Minister of Finance. It is not that I am involved or anything, but every other day I get instructions from the president, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, the public should not get worried when they see the president writing to me. They come to me every day. I am privileged to get them every day, Mr. Speaker, because of the nature of my position.
Thank you. Now, honorable colleagues, this is a matter which was raised by His Excellency the President to the Minister. So this is a communication within the executive, and it was calling for action. Okay? So I would feel uncomfortable for us to demand that they report here when there is someone who instituted an investigation and he said, report to me. and he's the overall authority. He's the fountain of honor in the country. So I would, Honorable Minister, go ahead and report where you're supposed to report. Then, but Honorable Namboze has raised an issue on the other loans. Now that is the duty of the Committee on National Economy. Colleagues, we are arranging an induction for committees so that we take you through your roles, your work, and what we expect of you. Okay.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, the law, the Public Finance Management Act, mandates me to report on the performance of loans. And this report normally comes before the budget. By end of February, I am supposed to report to the House on the performance of loans. This report goes to the national economy, which scrutinizes it and brings it back to the House for debate. So I thought Honorable Namboze knows this because she has been here with us for quite some time.
Honorable colleagues, I had already directed when the minister had already guided when the Minister for Works was on the floor, okay? And with regards to loans of works. So let the Committee of National Economy start its work. Honorable Pachuto and your team, and I trust her, she knows all these processes. So please, start on your work so that we don't spend much. But thank you so much, Honorable Number. Now we single my procedure. We are coming to 3:30 and we are still rotating.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I'm rising up under Rule 88 of the Rules of Procedure, and I would like to request you to guide us as to whether you think Honorable Musila is properly dressed in this House. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Yeah. Honorable Musira, I have not seen Honorable Musira. When you see him around, you tell him to put on a tie, and then he enters the house. Yeah.
You go.
No. Honorable colleagues, when you are putting on a Kawunda suit, okay, you don't put on a shirt. But when you have a shirt and there is a collar out and all that, you're supposed to put on a tie, okay? But when you see Honorable Musira, because he had moved out, when you see him, tell him to put on a tie and he comes back to the house. Honorable Naki.
Yeah, Right Honorable Speaker, my name is Julius Nachi, Member of Parliament from Dadir East in Sironko District. The matter I'm raising, I've actually already informed him. It has to do with the Nalugugu Bridge. This is a bridge connecting Mbale, Sironko, Bulambuli, Sebei up to Swam, the border. Now this bridge was washed by floods last year, and up to now it has not been reconstructed. Now they created a diversion where cars are passing, and you know we have very big trucks for Toro Cement. So far they have killed 11 people as at the end of 30th June 2026. 11, they died. They're always dying in the same spot, because when they come, when one is coming, another one is coming from different direction, they crash them in the middle because it is a small section. So Mr. Honorable Minister, when are we finishing the construction of this? Because even the temporary one is going to be washed. Our area, we just know every year we are going to have floods. It is only a matter of time, but when they come, they are washing even the other one you have put.
Honorable Minister for Works.
Right Honorable Speaker, on that bridge, the contractor Baker and our in-house design team, they are working to finalize the design so that we can start on the construction, but that's a longer term, and I'm going to whip my people to speed up the design so that we start on the bridge. But As of now, I'm going to get in touch with the honorable colleague. We see the bypass which they have put on how they can improve it, why they need, so that it stops killing our people. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Tim Bernard.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. This being a median speech when you are chairing, allow me to congratulate you. I'm Sergeant Retired Tim Bernard, Member of Parliament representing the people of Maruzi North County in Upper District. I rise to raise a matter of urgent national importance, but there are two. So I'll use 1 minute to raise. So I raise one? Okay. Now I have to choose because I already briefed the Minister of Works on his, but now I'm going to raise. His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda bless the people of Teso, Lao and Acholi with restocking. This money was paid out to people, but there is a disturbing report on the ground. Each parish, 9 people were compensated, but the report coming shows that out of the 9 people paid, only 5 people are people who hail from a particular parish. 4 are reportedly fictitious persons who have been put there by parish development committee, parish chiefs, and people at the sub-county. A rough estimate of the parishes in Lao, Teso, and Acholi amounts to 1,863 parishes. And if each payment, 5 of 3 people are paid fictitiously, the government will lose up to about 27 billion. My prayer, the Right Honorable Prime Minister's Office and the Ministry of Local Government should, as a matter of urgency, do an audit on this matter. Because already we are losing money. Secondly, members of parliament coming from Teso, Lao, and Acholi should be given an opportunity to verify beneficiaries before they are paid. Because then all the questions are coming back to members of parliament. Thank you so much.
You want to go into verification of members, Honorable? Right Honorable Prime Minister?
Right Honorable Speaker and members, last year, the President directed my office to take charge of the compensation cattle restocking exercise that had stalled for quite some time. 80 billion that was budgeted under the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs was brought to the office of the Prime Minister. Now we decided to take the approach of PDM and agreed that in cabinet that we start with elderly people, because these are the ones who actually suffered the problem. We divided among parishes and requested the Office of Minister of Security, through the structures they have, to screen the lists. So they would bring screened lists to the Ministry of Local Government. The Ministry of Local Government transferred the same lists to my office through the Paro Bank. Those are the people who were paid. So it is disturbing. For us, we thought things are moving on well. But now, and we have just started. This project is going to take place for the next 7 years. Now, I request a member to give us and those that they think are not genuine people who were paid, because so far, by June, they gave us this money in May, and we caused a meeting of the former members of parliament to expedite the process so that this money can be utilized. So by June 12th, 99.5% of this money had been given to the elderly people across the sub-regions of Teso, Lango, and Acholi. Now, I wish we would get those claims in writing so that this can help us to institute an audit on the lists that were given to us, because we already have a list. I myself yesterday and the second deputy prime minister had a meeting on this, and we did not receive this. So we would request that we get lists of those that they think have issues, and we institute an audit on this so that we can get a clear picture of what truly transpired.
Right Honorable Prime Minister, have you heard the meeting with the members from the regions that are going to be compensated for them to be brought on board?
Not with the new members, but the old members we did.
So I request
4 times.
I request you do.
I think I will
the
do.
new ones. Yeah.
Yes.
So that beyond Honorable Bernardo team, also others can bring.
Yes, maybe for the record of Parliament, each household, those who were affected, are getting 5 million each household.
Thank you. So, Right Honorable Prime Minister, please follow up on that. It helps us here on the floor, not to repeat the issue. Finally, the rest I will do tomorrow, Honorable colleagues, because I want us to go on the agenda. Tomorrow you will have a lot of time. Okay? Kidianongo, we agreed tomorrow. Tomorrow. Very good. Yes. Honorable Ayo Phoebe. You can talk from there, Honorable. They give you a microphone. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity for the first time. My name is Ayo Phoebe, the District Woman Representative for Gulu District. Allow me join the rest in congratulating you for retaining your seat to steer this august House. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, I rise up on the matter of unpaid honoraria to the councillors of lower local governments. In Gulu District, the 172 sub-county councillors have accumulated honoraria unpaid for over 36 months. I am aware, Right Honorable Speaker, and honorable colleagues, that this issue is not only affecting Gulu District local government, but cuts across other local governments in the country. Right Honorable Speaker, the Local Government Act charges these councillors with monitoring service delivery in sub-counties, and therefore these are our foot soldiers. The unpaid honoraria is grossly therefore affecting governance at the sub-county level. Yet this is the point where the citizens of Uganda get services. In Gulu District, Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, this is now causing unrest. In less than a fortnight, the 172 members.
Honorable, conclude. I can see you've added yourself time. What are your prayers? Prayers
have come at the office of the district chairman twice. My prayers, Right Honorable Speaker, number one, that the Minister of Local Government reports to this House the state of this payment and comes out with a statement over the same. to calm the unrest in the affected local governments. Number two, Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, I pray that the Ministry of Local Government should work to settle the arrears for the councillors of the lower local governments in the affected districts. And finally, I pray that the Ministry of Local Government and the Ministry of Finance ensure that the fund.
Honourable Minister for Local Government. Honourable Minister for Finance. I don't know, Prime Minister is guiding on who should answer. So,
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, the issue for honoraria for councillors in lower local governments is an issue that has been with us for some time. Previously, one of the reasons why it was happening is that some of the lower local governments were established and not coded immediately. What did we do? We asked local governments to provide the status. And Mr. Speaker, I wish to get more information from the colleague raising it, because all updated information by councillors, we pay them, save for the few outstanding ones which have been a challenge to determine. But what I want to commit is that let the honorable member who has raised the matter link up with me. If there is also any other member here who has outstanding honoraria matter in local governments, let me get all the information, all the facts and figures, then we settle it. We shall sit with the colleagues and their cows together with my budget directorate. We settle the matter once and for all, so that I don't have to come here every week to respond to these obvious matters.
thank you. Now, Honourable Minister for Finance, do you think it would work better if, for example, the Minister for Local Government writes all cows to say, okay, all cows, because the cows know, all cows who have pending payments for councillors, okay? And he compiles and then they submit you finance. Instead of members, each member coming to look for the minister. No, I'm saying the Minister for Local Government writes all cows and compiles and submits to finance. Would that work better, Honourable Minister?
Yeah. Mr. Speaker, yes, I see your reasoning and I buy into it. It is not good to disturb colleagues with responsibilities which are, because we have the accounting officers on station. And sometimes why we are saying provide information, sometimes the accounting officers know the reason why, but they don't want to tell, they don't want to disclose to us, the representatives of the people. Therefore, let the cows write to the accounting officer. Let the Minister of Local Government coordinate all these outstanding matters.
Yeah.
Then we handle them.
Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, if they take long, in September, we will be going to the field. If they take long, when we go to the field for budget conferences, I will settle them. Wherever they exist, I will settle them.
Thank you.
I thought I was giving clarification.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Next item. But Honourable colleagues, as we come to the next item, in the VIP gallery this afternoon, we have NRM flag bearers for East African Legislative Assembly, include Mr. Wangumya Fred Rakizi and Madam Kiriowa Stella. They've come to observe proceedings of this House. Please join me in welcoming them. Thank you. Next item.
Item 3, item 4 on the order paper.
statements by ministers on one, the repatriation of Ugandans from South Africa.
Honourable Minister for Foreign Affairs.
Thank you very much, Lord Honourable Speaker, for the opportunity. Lord Honourable Speaker and Honourable colleagues, yesterday, 7th July 2026, at the 6th sitting of first meeting of the first session of the 12th Parliament, during the reactions to the Right Honourable Speaker's communication, the leader of opposition, Honourable Joe Senyonyi, made a follow-up on the matter of the repatriation process of Ugandans from South Africa. Right Honourable Speaker, you guided that I present a comprehensive statement on the matter to this House. I therefore beg to proceed. Right Honourable Speaker, I am grateful for this opportunity to update this august House on the measures undertaken by the government of Uganda in response to the recent attacks against foreign nationals in the Republic of South Africa and the evacuation of our citizens whose safety was at risk. Honourable colleagues, in mid-June 2026, vigilante pressure groups, principally the March to March group, issued a self-imposed deadline of 30th June, demanding that all undocumented foreign nationals leave South Africa. This ultimatum contributed to attacks against foreign nationals and damage to business owned by migrants from across African continent. I wish to place on record our profound appreciations to His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda for his timely directive that arrangements be made to evacuate our citizens whose safety are placed in jeopardy. Pursuant to that directive, the Right Honourable Prime Minister coordinated my ministry, the Minister of Works and Transport, the Chief of Defence Forces, Uganda Airlines, the Uganda High Commission in Pretoria, and the leadership of the Ugandan community in South Africa, and also Minister of Finance. I'm happy to report that as of Tuesday, 7th July 2026, a total of 808 Ugandans had been repatriated back home. And we will continue to coordinate emergency support. The next phase of the emergency airlift includes one additional flight expected today, Wednesday, 8th July 2026, at 6 p.m. Expected to carry an additional 250 evacuees. Accordingly, by the end of today, we shall expect to have successfully evacuated 1,130 citizens, Ugandan citizens from South Africa. Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable colleagues, the phenomenon of xenophobic violence in South Africa is not new. Since early 1990s and more visibly from 2008 onwards, the country has experienced periodic outbreaks targeting foreign nationals. Often in communities grappling with severe unemployment, poverty, inequality, pressure on public services, and competition for informal trading spaces and employment opportunities. These underlying pressures, coupled with reports that several evacuees had lived in the country for many years without documentation, underscored the need for urgent, coordinated, and decisive action by the state. Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable colleagues, No grievance, however deeply felt, can ever justify violence against fellow Africans. Where criminality is alleged, it must be addressed through lawful and orderly processes, and must never be attributed collectively to any nationality or group of people. Acts of xenophobia erode social cohesion, undermine public order, and offend the principles of human dignity, justice, peaceful coexistence, and most importantly, African solidarity. Uganda and South Africa enjoy warm, historic, and mutually beneficial bilateral relations, strengthened through trade, investment, education, tourism, defense cooperation, and people-to-people exchanges. It is therefore imperative that these incidents be addressed firmly, lawfully, and constructively, without diminishing the enduring friendship, mutual respect, and cooperation that exists between the two countries. My ministry continues to engage our South African counterparts through established diplomatic channels to ensure the safety and welfare of our citizens. We note with appreciation the assurances given by the authorities in Pretoria regarding the protection of our legally documented persons with their property within their jurisdiction, as well as their commitment to investigate incidents of violence and ensure that those responsible are held in accordance with the law. Also remind us of the need to intensify state-led interventions aimed at addressing unemployment and expanding opportunities for our people, including programs such as the partial development model and other wealth creation programs, so that Ugandans are increasingly able to pursue dignified and sustainable livelihoods at home. On behalf of the government of Uganda, I extend my deepest condolences to the families of the 3 Ugandan nationals who lost their lives. I also extend heartfelt sympathies to all affected persons and reassure Ugandans in South Africa that their safety, dignity, and welfare remain our priority. Our High Commission continues to monitor developments closely, engage the Ugandan community, and liaise with the competent South African authorities to provide consular assistance. Our citizens are encouraged to remain vigilant, avoid areas of unrest, comply with the laws of the host country, and maintain regular contact with our High Commission. Honorable colleagues, as we reflect on these regrettable events, Uganda remains steadfast in its conviction that peaceful and harmonious coexistence among the people of Africa is both possible and necessary for our shared prosperity. Uganda remains the leading refugee hosting country in Africa and continues to pursue an open and progressive refugee policy grounded in solidarity, compassion, and shared responsibility. Our national experience demonstrates that diversity, when embraced, can be a source of strength. We shall therefore continue to champion peaceful coexistence, lawful immigration, and the protection of human dignity, while working with our partners to ensure that the rights and safety of our citizens abroad are upheld. But, Honorable Speaker, I beg to submit.
Thank you, Honourable Minister, for this update. Maybe also for the record, like I said yesterday, on top of the law, you had contacted me a day before that you had a statement read and you wanted to update the House. So I want to thank you for being was cited in such a manner. So I will, we have a shadow minister for foreign affairs. I'll give her 3 minutes if she has anything she would want to say with regard to the matter, the side of opposition. No, Joanna Lobo.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable. Thank you, Minister, for this information. And I want to thank government for what it has done so far in bringing back our people from South Africa to Uganda. Right Honorable Speaker, it's with a heavy heart that today we address an issue that goes beyond diplomacy. And it's an issue of human dignity, African solidarity, and our responsibility as a nation to protect the lives and welfare of Ugandans within and outside the country. Thank you very much, Mr. Minister. You have tried to elaborate some of these things, but you need to come out strong on our diplomatic relations with the Republic of South Africa until there is credible evidence. What is your say until there is credible evidence that it is safe for the people of Uganda to travel? There are many questions that are coming in that the people who are already scheduled to travel. What assurance do you give Ugandans who have that inevitable program to get to South Africa and their safety? Honorable Minister, we also need to understand many of the families in Uganda of the people who have been brought back are making several calls and wondering why they are not able to see their people. In the instance that many of the people who have been brought back, or all, if I'm not mistaken, are being taken to Chankwanzi. May we know why these people are being kept at Chankwanzi from the time they were repatriated, because the families are in wonderland what their family members are doing in Chankwanzi. We may have to know whether all are cadres or it's a training for the NRM leadership, something, so we get to tell the public what is happening in Chankwanzi. You also need to come out very strong on the total loss to Ugandans to be compensated. If we remember very well, when there was an issue in South Sudan, the Ugandans who lost their properties and everything was compensated by the government of Uganda. You need to come out very strong, the compensation schedule, or what is the compensation you're going to give to these people that you have brought back. Many of these people had businesses in South Africa. Bringing them back to stay at home, we need to know how we are going to manage the people who have come back because they've left their businesses there. Honorable Minister, you are also aware that most of our borrowing is from Stanbic, which is a South African bank, and MTN. And this bank, we are all aware that it repatriates over 6 trillion.
Honorable Shadow Minister, kindly please don't take that line. Please. I just want to guide, okay? Yeah, let us be patriotic leaders Let us be patriotic leaders. Let us not, please, I'm the one seated here and I'm the one who has guided, okay? These are private companies. Let us not start this here on the floor. It's not good for this country. I would request you, my sister Joanna Robo, okay? Kindly continue.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for the guidance. But I only wanted to find out if we intend to have any other sources of borrowing if anything goes wrong between South Africa and Uganda. Thank you for the guidance. I also want the minister to come out strongly and has the government of Uganda, particularly Kampala and Pretoria, so far been in any discussions to ensure control and restoration of security of persons and properties of the Ugandans?
Thank you. Thank you. Honourable Minister. These are very critical issues raised by the Shadow Minister.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and I thank the Shadow Minister for Foreign Affairs for raising these pertinent issues. Honorable Speaker, about the Changwans, yes, because she raised.
Honorable, don't respond to people from the side. It's remaining on the script.
Thank you, Right Honorable, for the protection. Because the member said that people went to Changwans and their relatives cannot access them. So this is the point I'm making. Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable colleagues, when the first group arrived at Entebbe, they indeed requested to have a meeting with the president. Yes, and I informed the president and he accepted. But you know, we have been bringing these people in bits. So we agreed with them that we need to have a one holding ground so that they go, but as we continue talking to them, because you see, these people have been traumatized. And now talking to them is like a therapy. And I tell you, they are very appreciative. Very appreciative. To the extent, Right Honorable, to the extent that, honorable colleagues, to the extent that even those that had come back on their own are now requesting to be put on the list to access Changwans. This is a very good achievement, and indeed, we are very, very happy for this arrangement. Right Honorable Speaker, the Shadow Minister also raised issues to do with these companies of ours that are here. You know, honorable colleagues, Ugandans...
Honorable Minister, she did not.
She did not.
It's you raising it.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Another issue was to do with those that have already scheduled to travel to South Africa. Let them continue with their travel. This problem, yes, these attacks are on those Ugandan nationals, in fact, African nationals that are in South Africa, undocumented, illegally. But it does not mean that there is a ban. And by the way, members, I need to inform you that this is not authorized by government of South Africa. The government of South Africa is not behind this. Yes. So it is so I therefore implore all those that are scheduled to travel to South Africa to continue with their movement. Another point, Right Honorable Speaker, the shadow minister raised the concern that we should continue with engagement. Yes, actually we are continuing with diplomatic engagements. And very soon, I will be traveling to South Africa for more engagements. How I wish that even the shadow minister can accompany me to South Africa for further engagements. I thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Order, honorable colleagues. Now, so honorable colleagues, diplomacy is not conducted on emotions. And in this house, we never open much debate on issues of diplomacy because we know how delicate they are. But the Honorable Musira John, I saw him saying he had lost a child, was bad. Honorable, I want to give you an opportunity. You're the only one I'm going to allow on this. And I request you, Honorable, I know, don't allow emotions to get ahead of you, and the diplomatic route, allow it to take its course. And you know we talked yesterday. Most obliged. Thank you. My right, Honorable Speaker. In line with what has happened to our dear Africans, sons and daughters, and in line with our constitution, especially Objective 28, with our international relations, and the government in power, one of the 4 principles is about Pan-Africanism. We do understand, Right Honorable Speaker, that our brothers in South Africa ought to have understood this. I want, in good measure, to thank the Honorable Minister, and especially for what the government has done on evacuations from South Africa. I have my own residents, over 50 of them already in Chankwanzi, undergoing psychosocial support, which is okay on the side of government. But of course, equally, Mr. Minister, sir, this is not xenophobia. This is not Afrophobia. It is Negrophobia. Negro, they hate only black. You have been in South Africa, Right Honorable Speaker, in all these places. You are aware there are some illegals who are white, Arab, Indian. They are going for only and only anybody with the Rasta skin like mine. That cannot be tolerated, certainly. But I want also to say, before you, and at an appropriate time, of course, I will lay on table one of the deceased, one of those ones murdered by these vigilantes. Parliament can see, and it's not good. Even when somebody has gone there illegally, there are processes, there are international protocols towards that, Mr. Speaker, you know it. And I want to request that I lay on table displayed for the press to see. Yeah. He's called Nasima Ronald, son of Fred Rwandanyi, from my constituency, actually my home area. And he's dead. I want to thank government for evacuating the body. Thank you so much, and the support to the family especially. And we must give credit where it has been done. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, sir, I wish to say one or two things in 1 minute. One is that our government should link up with other regional bodies. Where is the AU? Where is the COMESA? SADC, East African Community? They are quiet. Completely quiet. Completely quiet. This is why some of us have gone solo out there. The other very last one, we need these returnees to be psycho-managed, because most of them have been investors in South Africa. In Pretoria, we have a young man from Entebbe who has a school with over 10,000 students. I visited there, and he employs 950 South Africans. He's an investor. And you should know today that amongst those who have returned forcibly by these vigilantes, by Wanumu and others, I want to say some of them are investors. I want the minister to investigate. Not all of them are illegals there. No, that's not the case. That would be underscoring the whole thing. I thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Now, Honorable Alenyo Masho, it was also the same, I remember, when you came to my office. But did people die or they returned? You know, these are colleagues who came to my office.
Thank you very much.
This matter.
Thank you very much. Right Honorable Speaker, my name is Marshall Alenyo, Member of Parliament for Jonam County. Right Honorable Speaker, it is slightly the same, but I spent my life fighting with the ANC when we were at the university. The Honorable Wanyoto, you remember, with those of the late Noble Mayombo, we used to feed the ANC guerrillas who used to come from Algeria and from those training camps. This is the North South Africa we expected. But that said, we now have a group called the March and March Group. We need to designate it as a terror group against all the Africans in the whole continent, because this March and March Group is only targeting Africans. Secondly, on the issue of the evacuation of Africans from South Africa, the name of General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, the commander of GDF, has not come out properly. This operation was single-handedly sanctioned by the CDF, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba. I wanted this House to upload that patriotic effort of the General Muhoozi, who single-handedly went for our people in South Africa. So I thought to put that in order. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable colleagues. I picked, Honorable colleagues, I picked one NRM, one opposition, one independent. Thank you, Honorable Minister. Keep us updated. Next item, I wanted to guide the clerk that the Right Honorable Prime Minister will be going for. Right Honorable Prime Minister, allow me to make my communication.
I wanted to make
Right
some
Honorable
guidance.
Prime Minister, I request
Just one-
you. Right Honorable Prime Minister, allow the Speaker to guide. Right Honorable Prime Minister has a meeting, so to do with Karamoja, and we have been pestering her to work on that issue. So I want us to first sort out item number 6. As you come, you can make clarification you wanted to make, Right Honorable Prime Minister.
Item number 6 on the other paper. Motion for resolution of Parliament to express gratitude to His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for the clear and precise exposition of government policy contained in the State of the National Address to Parliament of Uganda on 4th June 2026.
Right Honorable Prime Minister. A procedure, Honorable Numbers. There's a procedure matter, Right Honorable Prime Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker, may it be understood that I don't intend to stop people from appreciating the President. I want to raise, Right Honorable Speaker. I was here when this type of motions started coming up. This started as a motion of backbenchers, Right Honorable Speaker, who would have interfaced with the President and then come up with a motion to thank him. But the direction it is taking now to be a motion moved by the Prime Minister, who is the leader of government business, Mr. Right Honorable Speaker. It is as if the President, after giving the State of the Nation address, through his Prime Minister, is bringing it here as a business of government to thank himself, Right Honorable Speaker. And to me, Right Honorable Speaker, I recall one time when the President of Uganda was addressing people and said, I hate people who thank me for performing my duty, because that is my role. To address the nation in a State of the Nation address is an obligation given by the Constitution. How would it appear that now this is a motion of government coming from the lead of government business, Right Honorable Speaker? I beg to move, and I want you, Mr. Speaker, to understand my concern. This was a motion for backbenchers, Right Honorable Speaker, not government business. I beg to move.
Thank you. Now, honorable colleagues, unfortunately in the rules, we don't have anywhere it is gazetted as a motion for either backbencher or front bench. Now, this is a motion, okay? This is a... that's, of course, that's the general thought of the speaker, okay? Yeah, so, but now, the person moving a motion is a woman MP of Kakumiro, okay? And the Prime Minister. And the Prime Minister. Number two, this motion usually comes from the government side. Now, on my side, it's not my duty to appoint who is going to be moving a motion. The moment the government side writes, this is the one moving the motion, whether it's a backbench among theirs, I do that. Then after this motion being moved, honorable colleagues, I'm going to call the leader of opposition under Rule 55 to also make his response. After making the response, then colleagues, because the two are debated together, I will give you starting next Tuesday, because I need to give you time to read, to go and prepare. Starting next Tuesday. This is the motion where I would want each one of you who want to speak. Okay? From our projection, it will take 2 to 4 weeks as debating the state of the nation, so that you talk without being interrupted. So I wanted to give much more guidance after all this, but let me take the opportunity on this. And also, I'll be requesting those who want to speak to register with your whips. Why? When I get the list, I easily follow up. Okay? I easily follow up. Honorable colleagues, I can see also, I've already started receiving notes from some of you that you are annoyed I'm not picking you. We have just started. I'm going to buy you Panadol because you're going to be annoyed and you burst if you come with that kind of... You get it? Not a phone upon that. I've just received a note from someone. We have just started. You tighten your belts, you will stand up 10 times and I won't pick you if it's not your turn. But also you can stand up and I immediately pick you, depending on the matters. And honorable colleagues, let me tell you this, I have to be as fair as possible. And one principle I use, I cannot give another member an opportunity to speak before others speak. Okay, so let's try to be, let's be accommodative. It's a tricky situation for me too. I wish I had more time, or I had 10 microphones and I can pick 10 of you at the same time. I would have done that. Right Honorable Prime Minister, Right Honorable Woman MP Kakumiro.
Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, I move under Rule 58 of our Rules of Procedure
to move a motion for a resolution of Parliament to express gratitude to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for the clear and precise exposition of government policy contained in the State of the National Address to the Parliament of Uganda on 4th June 2026. Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, whereas Article 1011 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, 1995, requires the President to deliver to Parliament an address on the state of the nation at the beginning of each session of Parliament, and whereas on 4th June 2026, His Excellency the President, in compliance with Article 1011 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, delivered the State of the Nation address to Parliament at Kororo ceremonial grounds, aware that in the State of the Nation address, His Excellency the President gave clear guidance on key anchors to the country's economic progress for this term of government, including no more sleep, zero tolerance to corruption, and no more politeness to non-performers. Right Honorable Speaker and members, noting that His Excellency the President emphasized that despite a few challenges, Uganda's economy has expanded 17-fold over the last 40 years of recovery, expansion, diversification, value addition, entering the knowledge economy, and transformation, as reflected in the GDP rise from $3.9 billion in 1986 to now US dollars 69.3 billion by the forex exchange method, or to 197.1 billion by the PPP method, and the GDP per capita has risen to US dollars 1,278, while the threshold for the lower middle income status is US dollars 1,136. Further noting that His Excellency the President noted that the household poverty has declined from 56.4% in 1992 to now 16.1%, life expectancy from 43 years to now 68 years, and the infant mortality from 122 per 1,000 born alive to now 36 per 1,000 born alive. Aware that His Excellency the President stated that the peace, law and order maintained by the various law enforcement agencies provide supportive infrastructure necessary for the country's development, with economic growth currently projected at 6.4 and the GDP expected to grow by 10% in the 2027-2028 financial year, increasing the size of the economy to US dollars 80 billion, appreciating the President's reassurance to the nation that most of the essential factors for wealth creation and all the necessary requirements for building a prosperous Uganda are in place, including the good constructed road network,
the revamping of the meter gauge railway, and the building of the standard gauge railway, as well as establishment of pipelines for crude petroleum products. Further appreciating that His Excellency the President informed the nation that the citizens to effectively participate in both the vertical and horizontal integration of the national economy and to achieve massive production and job creation, the citizens must join the money economy and transit from the traditional pre-capitalist subsistence systems of working and utilizing the government-established 4-acre wealth generation model and access government funding through the Operation Wealth Creation, the Paris Development Model, and the NADS, among others. Now, therefore, be it resolved by this Parliament that Parliament expresses gratitude to His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda for his and concise exposition of the State of the Nation's address delivered to Parliament of Uganda at Kororo Ceremonial Grounds, Kampala, on 4th June 2026. Number 2, that Parliament commits itself to the promotion of the great ideas, values, and qualities driven by no more sleep philosophy as advanced by His Excellency the President. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to submit.
Thank you.
I beg to move.
Thank you. Is the motion seconded? Honorable Rocky, Honorable Akor, Honorable Algon. I see all representatives of UPDF. Honorable Kwaringa, Honorable Biko, Honorable Msasizi, Right Honorable Chionga. By, from what I see, by 95% of this house. I must mention Honorable Mary Kutesa and Honorable Makumbi Henry. You are seconded. Thank you. Now, this is a motion which is very clear. I don't know, Right Honorable, do you want to, that's why you've given it so in the detail. Maybe what we can do, Right Honorable, your seconders to save time can come in. Then at the conclusion of the motion, okay? These critical issues, I will give you an opportunity. You justify, you go out, you leave us here. Then you leave us with the motion. So, if you can use 2 minutes, because I can say the justification is too long. We can have it on record, but you summarize, okay?
Yes. Right Honorable Speaker and members, this is my justification. Right Honorable Speaker and members, the motion to appreciate His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for his clear, firm, and inspiring exposition of government policy during the State of the Nation address delivered on 4th June 2026 at Kororo Ceremonial Grounds. Right Honorable Speaker, with the overwhelming renewed mandate, I repeat this, overwhelming renewed mandate from the people of Uganda who elected him in January 2026, the President reminded us of his declaration during the presidential inauguration that this Kisanja, no more sleep. He emphasized that laziness and corruption among leaders will not be tolerated. To me, this is very important. He also emphasized that economic transformation of Uganda has not been accidental or by chance, but a deliberate journey spanning over 6 decades. His Excellency noted that they started small with minimal resources to educate communities to abandon nomadism and engage in more productive farming. This has yielded distinctive economic growth and financial freedom that continues into the next generation. He demonstrated this with live testimonies of transformed families in the cattle corridor. Right Honorable Speaker, let me give a synopsis of this transformation. For example, 1, milk production in Uganda is 5.4 billion liters, up from 200 million liters per annum in 1986. Coffee, from 2 million bags to 9.3 million bags of 60 kilograms. Currently, Right Honorable Speaker, Uganda is the leading producer and exporter of coffee in Africa. Cement production rose from 4,900 metric tons to 7 million metric tons today. Maize rose from 200,000 metric tons to 5 million metric tons now. Banana production from 6,660,000 metric tons to now 11 million metric tons. Cassava from 3.5 million to 4.5 million metric tons. Sugar from 152 million metric tons to 700 metric tons. Electricity generation from 60 megawatts to 2,098 metric tons. Right Honorable Speaker, government is aiming at 50,000 megawatts from hydro, solar, gas, wind, nuclear, and geothermal. Right Honorable Speaker, Uganda moved from merely importing condensed milk, butter, cheese, yogurt, powdered milk, to now also exporting these products. To me, this is very important for members to note. And this earns Uganda US dollars 285.4 million in export earnings and saves Uganda 1,560 million US dollars in imports. Right Honorable Speaker, this motion gives us an opportunity as leaders to reflect on how we too can educate and mobilize our people that we lead in our constituencies towards transformed livelihoods. It is a pivotal moment to appreciate the President's insights on the potential of Uganda's economy in the sectors of commercial agriculture, manufacturing, services, and ICT. Right Honorable Speaker and members, His Excellency reminded us of the national resistance movement's initiatives to move people out of subsistence economy over the years. He urged us to mobilize Ugandans to abandon unproductive subsistence farming methods and land fragmentation and embrace the 4-acre model. He highlighted government programs such as the Parish Development Model, Emyoga, the growth opportunities for women enterprises with minimal interest rates that can help our people. His Excellency further echoed that fundamentals for economic development are in place and on track, citing peace and security, infrastructure development, to mention but a few. He called on us, Ugandans, to build on this base to become job creators and wealth creators. In addition, His Excellency highlighted the importance of the Pan-African agenda
for strategic political stability and shared socio-economic growth. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to submit. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Seconders? No, Honorable Mary Kutesa. I have two formal seconders. They are the ones I will allow today.
Right Honorable Speaker, this is my maiden speech in the 12th Parliament. I am therefore entitled to all the rights and privileges that come with a maiden speech. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, I raise to second the motion to appreciate His Excellency the President for his clear, visionary and firm State of the Nation address that was delivered to this August House on the 4th of June 2026. I second the motion for the following grounds. Specifically, there are three, Right Honorable Speaker and members. Number one is the strong stance against corruption. Right Honorable Speaker, the President gave a stern, uncompromising, historic declaration of war against this great vice holding our nation back. Corruption is the only vice holding our productivity back. By declaring a season of no corruption for public officers, for this House of Parliament, he has directly echoed the cries of the ordinary persons that we represent. It is clear that the complacency, the bureaucratic embezzlement of government resources, the poor service delivery at our government institutions, inflation or increasing project procurement costs, and other irregularities witnessed at every level of government are not the responsibility of the President. He is waking us up to deal with this. Right Honorable Speaker and members, corruption is just not a moral failure. It is an economic crime. It is the biggest risk we have against our security and peace in this country. Every shilling stolen is a shilling taken away from a mother accessing a hospital. Every shilling stolen takes us and our goods away from reaching the markets. The President's speech called the 12th Parliament that we have a constitutional duty, and he reminds us, colleagues, that we stand by this constitutional duty under Article 79(3) to promote democratic governance and provide oversight for this country. The President has challenged the legislature, the cabinet, the public service, and every Ugandan. Stop corruption. Friends, we cannot start and continue blaming the President. We are the ones, every individual, every member, every citizen. On point two, your honorable, right honorable Speaker and members, is the point of peace and security. His Excellency gave the nation an unwavering assurance of continued enjoyment of peace in this country, which is the bedrock of our thriving economy. Democracy cannot be absolute except when we have peace, law, and order. So without security, our legislative mandates, our economic policies, our national development frameworks would all be meaningless. We, as Ugandans, friends, in this region, have enjoyed peace, and uncommittedly, we cannot deny, because of the one President of the region who is providing peace in this region, His Excellency President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Right Honorable Speaker, we are about to conclude an intense historic election which has brought many of us as members of this House, and skeptics thought it would be chaotic. Detractors thought it would be exploited, and the vulnerabilities therein would be used to fail a democratic exercise. We must note that we are here, the election period is ending, and we are confident that it will end peacefully. I think it is in order that this August House Right Honorable Speaker should appreciate the Commander-in-Chief, specifically for his unwavering stewardship of national security architecture and the gallant men and women who are in our law enforcement agencies that keep us and our country safe. We cannot take it for granted. The third point, Right Honorable Speaker and members, is the enabling economic transformation factor. The President said no more sleep. Colleagues, and Right Honorable Speaker, our peace as a nation will not be absolute if we still have Ugandans living in poverty. The President's address to the nation declared war on politeness that keep our people in poverty. It declared war on laziness. He said, don't kutenda, literally meaning, don't break us. Everybody must work. The President asked us to forget our big titles, to engage the communities we serve, those that have sent us to this house, to monitor wealth creation programs such as PDM, Emyoga, and all the others, to ensure that our communities are engaged, participating, and making household incomes that contribute to the nation's development. Colleagues, the President tasked us, the citizens, and he woke up to our duty as is enshrined in our Constitution, Article 29, Objective 29 of our 1995 Constitution, demands that every citizen of this country should be engaged in gainful work. That work for the gain of every citizen, for the gain of their family, for the gain of this nation, for the gain of development of Uganda. It is the job of every Ugandan. I am concluding, Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable, it's not members who give, you know, it's not members who give space on the floor. So when members say, yes, more time, and you switch on, that's not how we run the house, okay? Yeah. Just conclude, Honorable, okay? Conclude.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I was on the conclusion, and I may not say everything that is in my conclusion, Right Honorable Speaker and members, but 35% out of 80% of our arable land is underutilization. It means we are performing under 50%. We must wake up our people to chase poverty by utilizing at least 60% of the 80 as a start. So, Right Honorable Speaker, it is therefore fitting that this 12th Parliament registers with profound gratitude to the head of state for the clear guidance, vision, prioritizing peace, wealth creation against and the war against corruption as a launch pad for this country's attainment of our vision 2040. I thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable. Honorable Makumbi. And welcome back to the House.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, members of Parliament. Right Honorable Speaker, I rise to justify the motion, thanking His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda for the clear and precise exposition of government policy contained in the State of the Nation address. Parliament, expressing gratitude, Right Honorable Speaker, to His Excellency the President, is an established parliamentary practice to acknowledge his constitutional duty to present government policy before Parliament and preserving unity, peace, security, and which are crucial for the socio-economic transformation. Mr. Speaker, sir, the motion further reaffirms the President's commitment to working with the executive for implementation of programs and policies that promote the welfare and prosperity of the people of Uganda. The President further focused on the rule of law, national security, and institutional capacity, as he emphasized that the strong and legal framework is the vital protection of the major government projects like energy, roads, that will expedite the growth of the economy, attracts investors, and create employment for the increasing population. Mr. Speaker, sir, the State of Nation Address provides the strategic policy direction that guides Parliament in the discharge of its constitutional mandate of legislation, appropriation, oversight, and representation. The address further establishes the framework within which ministries, departments, and agencies align their programs, plans, and budgets to advance Uganda's tenfold growth strategy. Mr. Speaker, sir, His Excellency emphasized that national transformation depends on the integrity of public service, vigilant leadership, and prudent management of public resources through accountability. The No More Sleep slogan, Mr. Speaker, calls for active, ethical, and result-oriented leadership at every level of government. Right Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, embracing this address as a house, as the Parliament, we are choosing to build a highly productive, self-sustained economy. We are empowering every Ugandan to be active, to be an active shareholder in the nation's wealth. I urge this August House, Right Honorable Speaker, to support the motion with one voice. Let us convey our deepest gratitude to His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda. And let us commit to mobilizing our communities, constituents, to implement this revolutionary vision. I beg to move, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Makumbi. Thank you. Lop. Just Lop it. Honorable colleague, yes? Yes. You have an issue? No, just access the microphone. When I say you have an issue, it means I need you to talk to me on record.
Right Honorable Speaker, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to present or to support the motion. Move.
No, Honorable, if you had listened to me earlier, I guided that today the motion is moved. Okay. Then I allow only 2 seconders who are on the motion as a requirement. And then we invoke Rule 55. The leader of opposition presents a response to the state of the nation. Okay. And because the two shall be debated together, you need some time. So we shall start the debate next week, and I will start with you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay?
Thank you, Right.
Yes. And number 2, the clerk should ensure that the State of the Nation is uploaded, the State of the Nation address is uploaded on alfresco so that members can access it. We had already discussed with the government chief whip. The leader of opposition has already uploaded his copy. Leader of Opposition.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I want to appreciate the woman MP for Kakumiro. I see she has stepped away. For her remarks, she said she was making those remarks as woman MP for Kakumiro. And the colleagues who have spoken to us this afternoon. Right Honourable Speaker and honourable members of Parliament, the State of the Nation address is one of the most important constitutional duties entrusted to a head of state under Article 101 of our Constitution. It should give the country an honest account of its condition, acknowledge the challenges that the citizens face, and set out measures to address them. It should not be a catalogue of government activities or a victory speech. It's an opportunity for accountability. The head of state built NRM's historical journey from 1959, the reach of PDM into 3.7 million households, and a projected 10% GDP growth. He talked about milk surpluses and coffee exports, dismissed young people seeking work abroad by calling Uganda a paradise, which they are abandoning, and named journalists whose writing displeases him. He did not speak with clarity about the debt that is consuming our country's future. The hospitals without medicines, the schools failing a generation of children, the roads deteriorating every rainy season, or the corruption documented in audit report after audit report. And I thank colleagues, they've pointed out some of these issues. Colleagues, the true state of the nation is measured by whether citizens can access quality health care, afford education, find meaningful employment, earn a decent living, and live under institutions that are honest and accountable. The farmer wanted to know why inputs are expensive and why markets are unreliable. The unemployed graduate wanted to know where jobs would come from. The patient wanted to know why medicines are unavailable. The parent wanted to know why universal education still costs more than they can afford. The taxpayer wanted assurance that public resources will be protected from theft. Most of those questions, honestly, went unanswered. Right Honourable Speaker, I have prepared this response drawing on official government and public institutional sources, including the Auditor General, Uganda Bureau of Statistics, sector performance reports, budget documents, and parliamentary committee findings, reports that we have passed here as Parliament. The central question before this House is this: are the lives of ordinary Ugandan citizens improving? On that measure, there is considerable work to be done, colleagues. And I'm glad that that's a point that is admitted on both sides of the House. Honourable Speaker, let me tease out certain sectors: economy and public debt. The head of state cited GDP expansion to $69.3 billion US and a per capita income of $1,420 US, just above the lower middle income threshold of about $1,136 US. Yet many Ugandans are asking a simple question: if the economy is growing, why is life becoming more difficult? Growth must show up in household incomes, employment, and access to services. The Ministry of Finance background to the budget financial year 2025-2026 report puts rural poverty at 19.4% against 10.3% in urban areas, and notes that 7 sub-regions home to 44% of Uganda's population, account for 70% of the country's poor. These are Ministry of Finance figures. Growth that does not reduce poverty or improve the cost of living for ordinary families is in the end largely statistical. The most serious threat to Uganda's economic future is our public debt. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, our public debt has risen from roughly 70 trillion shillings in financial year 2020-2021 to over 126 trillion shillings today. Listen to this, colleagues. This is an 80% increase in 5 years. 80% increase of our debt burden in just 5 years. That should worry all of us, colleagues. The debt to GDP ratio is at 53%, above the 50% threshold that was set by Uganda's own Charter for Fiscal Responsibility. And domestic interest to revenue has risen to 23.66%. More than 1 shilling in every 3 collected now goes to creditors before a teacher is paid or medicine procured. Interest payments have climbed steadily from 3.9 trillion shillings in financial year 2021-2022 to a projected 13 trillion shillings in financial year 2026-2027, for a cumulative 46.9 trillion over 6 years, all flowing to foreign-owned commercial banks. The financial year 2026-2027 budget adds a further 185.5 billion in commitment fees on loans signed but not yet used. These are loans signed but not yet used. We have got to pay 185.5 billion shillings. This should be criminal. This is wastage, money that is supposed to avail services in all of our constituencies. Uganda is paying for borrowing that has not happened. Honorable colleagues, we keep borrowing, but without corresponding returns. The Auditor General has reportedly flagged weak project implementation, delayed completion, cost overruns, and underutilized borrowed funds. Among them, the Loboa Specialized Hospital arrangement with Enrique Pinetti, the local construction bailout, the Pay by a Farmer bailout, the Inspire Africa Coffee Venture in Tungamo, and the Atiak Sugar Factory under UDC. All private ventures financed through public borrowing, whose returns to citizens are yet to be demonstrated. Public revenue is being diverted from schools, hospitals, roads, and agriculture to service debt whose benefits ordinary Ugandans cannot see or feel. Sustainable growth requires prudent fiscal management, productive investment, value for money, and genuine accountability in the use of public resources. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, let me speak about cost of living and employment. One of the most glaring omissions, in my view, in the State of the Nation address was the rising cost of living. And we see this every day, everywhere in our constituencies. Households are grappling with food, transport, school, healthcare, and rent costs that together exhaust whatever income they earn. The UBOS National Governance, Peace and Security Survey of November 2025 shows that food accounts for over 50% of low-income household expenditure. Not a statistic to be tracked in a spreadsheet, but a household emergency at every meal. Fuel prices of 6,500 shillings and above per litre upcountry drive up the cost of everything that moves by road. And Uganda spends approximately 600 billion shillings annually on petroleum imports, priced in foreign exchange. Every weakening of the shilling transfers directly into the price of a meal, a school run, and a market trader's fare. The employment picture is equally serious. Uganda's population currently stands at 45.9 million, yet only 9.4 million are in formal employment. Approximately 700,000 young people enter the labor market every year. While manufacturing, the sector best placed to absorb them, contributes only 8.4% to our country's GDP and employs only 8.3% of the workforce, below the 13% average for least developed countries. The formal economy cannot absorb what the population produces. That's a fact. And the consequence is visible on every street corner and in every family surviving on informal, insecure work. Between 2020 and 2025, an estimated 500,000 Ugandans took up work contracts abroad, most in the Middle East, under conditions widely documented as exploitative. These are not people abandoning a paradise, as is suggested. They are people searching for opportunities that they cannot find at home. A government that exports its youth as cheap labor and then mocks them for leaving has forfeited the moral authority to speak about their economic transformation. What is required is deliberate investment in industrialization, agro-processing, manufacturing, tourism, and genuine support for small and medium enterprises, with success measured by decent livelihoods created, not programs announced. Let me talk about corruption and accountability, which the Honorable Kutesa Kamali is very passionate about, and I applaud her for that. Corruption, colleagues, is still one of the biggest obstacles to Uganda's development. The Inspector General of Government, in their anti-corruption annual report 2024-2025, estimated that Uganda loses about 10 trillion shillings annually to corruption. 10 trillion shillings per year dissipates. The Auditor General's 2025 annual report found unaccounted funds, unsupported expenditure, and procurement irregularities in 72% of audited entities. These are government entities that are audited. Payroll audits continue to uncover thousands of ghost workers. And the Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Assets Authority has reported persistent irregularities in public contracting, including inflated prices and non-competitive awards. The cost is measured in schools not built, medicines not delivered, and opportunities denied. Parliament was told in January of 2026, this year, that only 31% of the Auditor General's recommendations for financial year 2023-2024 had been fully implemented, while more than a third were not implemented at all. The fight against corruption will be judged by stolen funds recovered, audit recommendations implemented, and the investigation, prosecution, and conviction of those responsible, regardless of office or political affiliation. Honorable Speaker, let me speak about human rights, civic freedoms, and justice. A nation's strength, colleagues, is measured not only by economic growth, but by its commitment to constitutional freedoms, human dignity, and the rule of law, an area that we always pay little attention to. The Uganda Human Rights Commission's quarterly report, that's January to April of this year, recorded over 1,200 claimants of arbitrary arrest, torture, enforced disappearance, and lawful detention, a 34% increase on the same period in 2025. So this only gets worse. At least 47 journalists and media workers faced arrest, harassment, and confiscation of their equipment in the preceding 12 months. Arbitrary arrests feed directly into the crisis in our prisons and our courts. Even those produced in courts spend lengthy periods without getting justice. And the proposals by our head of state to abolish bail for a number of offenses does not help matters, colleagues. 50% on remand, some waiting for years to be tried, for years. By October 2025, the Auditor General found 115 of 413 children in one rehabilitation center had completed their sentences, but were still being held because the system lacked capacity to process their release. This is wrong, colleagues. The chairperson of the Uganda Human Rights Commission, Mariam Wangadia, has publicly accused some state actors of deliberately weakening this vital institution. She has argued that despite the Commission's critical constitutional mandate to safeguard the rights enshrined in Chapter 4 of our Constitution, the Bill of Rights, appointments have been made on political considerations rather than competence. She described some appointees as broke and sickly political failures. suggesting that such appointments have undermined the Commission's effectiveness. This matter ought to be addressed. When we see government officials speaking out, lambasting publicly, this has got to be looked into. I hope government will. Constitutional rights are not privileges granted at government's discretion. They belong to every Ugandan by virtue of the Constitution. And security agencies must operate within the law, with every citizen enjoying equal protection under it. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, sometimes government blames opposition, civil society and media houses for making the country look bad. But if we are to be honest with ourselves, we would realize that some government officials contribute a great deal to making our country look bad. Whenever people are abducted and tortured, or when media houses get closed arbitrarily, these violations of the law make it to international press, and you've been seeing international press report about these issues. How then do we expect tourists to come to our country with all these negative situations? We've been dealing with a situation where most of the world thought numerous people were dying of Ebola in Uganda, which of course was not true. But travel advisories were issued, and many would-be tourists cancelled their visits to Uganda, which affected our tourism. And as we clarify to the world that the Ebola situation in Uganda was blown out of proportion and misunderstood, and I think government have been seeing government officials speak out. I saw Alan Kasuja, Uganda Media Center, ED and others saying, look, the problem is not as has been described in this our country, which is a good thing. That you get to defend our country and the facts come out. Because people think Ugandans are dropping dead of Ebola every day. That's not true. So as we continue to clarify and defend our country, which we must be able to do as government, we find ourselves having to deal with the national press reports about violations of the law. So we need to address all these issues. Potential investors want to come and set up business in Uganda to employ our young people. This can easily get discouraged because of what they see and hear. This hurts our economy and it affects all of us, colleagues. Civil society organizations have been targeted for suspension and closure. Most of them have had their accounts frozen by the state. No explanations, no court orders. Why does government target people and entities who point out the ills in our governance instead of addressing those ills? We have to build this our country together. So dissenting voices should not be targeted for persecution. We need to listen to the issues of concern being raised and then we work towards fixing those issues. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, we held our national election at the start of this year. There are still many unanswered questions. Why does the military continue to interfere with our elections? This did not just happen to we opposition competitors, by the way. I saw a number of colleagues from the NRM raising similar concerns in their constituencies as well. Why hasn't government accounted for the billions spent on the biometric voter verification kit, which did not function on election day? Why hasn't the Electoral Commission publicized the declaration of results forms which they based on to declare results? Colleagues, our country needs to heal from the tumult that has become of our elections. But we can only do so, we can only heal when these questions are sufficiently responded to. Mr. Speaker and colleagues, let me talk about health. Patients face medicine stockouts, long waiting times, inadequate staffing, and rising out-of-pocket costs. For many families, illness is simultaneously a health emergency and a financial crisis. Somebody once said, most Ugandans are one medical bill away from poverty. The Ministry of Health Sector Performance Report of Financial Year 2024-2025 shows malaria is responsible for 27% of outpatient visits and 19% of inpatient deaths, placing Uganda among the top 10 countries globally for malaria burden. HIV prevalence stands at 5.3%. Tuberculosis affects 200 per 100,000 people, with a 72% treatment success rate against the World Health Organization's 85%. Non-communicable diseases account for 33% of hospital admissions and 11% of deaths, with hypertension affecting 26% of adults and diabetes 5%, mostly undiagnosed. Skilled birth attendance falls to 55% in rural areas against the 74% national average. So the national average looks fair. We need to now address the rural one because national average is 74%. That's fair. The problem is now in the rural areas, with 64% of essential medicines in financial year 24-25. Government contributed 36%. Over 41% of health costs are paid directly out of pocket, and 40% of facilities experienced drug stockouts of antimalarials, antibiotics, and antiretrovirals in 2023. Uganda has got 1 ambulance per 200,000 people. 1 per 200,000 people. That's why colleagues always buy ambulances. Ideally, we shouldn't be doing that, but we end up doing it because of this gap. Only 12% of facilities have got functioning emergency units. And referral hospitals operate at roughly 10% of ICU capacity due to inadequate staffing. Mental health apparently is the most neglected area of all. 75% of Ugandans who live with mental disorders receive no treatment. 75% of the Ugandans who live with mental disorders receive no treatment. Only 5 dedicated mental health units exist nationwide, and the sector receives less than 1% of the health budget against the WHO recommendation of 5%. Right, Honorable Speaker, we have severally demanded for the completion of Lubowa Specialized Hospital and proper accountability for the billions spent on that project thus far. Government needs to provide answers to the questions about Lubowa Hospital. Incidentally, I'm interested in this hospital being up and running. Some people think that we in the opposition, we want the project to fail and for government to look bad. Actually, I want this project up and running so that taxpayer money is accounted for. But more importantly, for people to be able to access healthcare. They don't have to then run out of the country. So we are waiting for Lubowa Specialized Hospital. Let me talk about education. Honorable members, few matters weigh on Ugandan families as heavily as education. Yet we often give the challenge in this sector little serious attention. The Auditor General's report for the year ended 31st December 2025 found that across 157 local governments inspected, 136 secondary schools had no science laboratory, and a further 270 had laboratories that were inadequately equipped. Yet government introduced a policy to promote sciences. 182 schools lacked libraries. 251 had no teacher accommodation. 380 reported inadequate classrooms, with some schools operating condemned latrines. And this is dangerous for our little children. About cracked walls and deteriorating roofs. Government speaks of competence-based learning, yet many schools lack the infrastructure to implement it. We need to fix this. Learning outcomes are equally alarming. The 2025 National Assessment of Progress in Education report found that and this is alarming, found that more than 60% of primary 6 learners could not read a simple passage in English or perform basic numeracy. This is a government report. After decades of investment in universal primary education, the national pupil-teacher ratio stands at 53:1, exceeding 70:1 in several districts against the recommended 40:1. Secondary gross enrollment sits at only 29%, and technical and vocational institutions enroll fewer than 400,000 learners against a youth population exceeding 10 million in that relevant age bracket. The UPE capitation grant of only 18,600 shillings per learner and 21,000 for learners with special needs is insufficient, honestly. Thank you, Honorable. Pushing schools This pushes schools to levy charges on parents, a practice that undermines the principle of universal education. Think about it, colleagues. 18,600 shillings per learner, not per term, but per year. How is this child supposed to compete globally in this day and age? It's not possible. So we are saying UPE is a good program. It's a good initiative. But we are not funding it, and that's why it's failing. That's why children, 60%, they're in P6, they can't read a sentence in English. So we need to put more money there, now that we are all saying it's a good program. Because on this we agree, government side and opposition, UPE is a good program. So why aren't we funding what we are all agreeing on to be good? Right, Honourable Speaker and colleagues, salary disparities between science and arts and primary teachers have weakened morale and fueled attrition. We welcomed the increase in pay for science teachers, but there is no reason why the same does not happen for arts teachers as well. Government must substantially increase investment in school infrastructure, review capitation grants to reflect the current realities, recruit and retain qualified teachers, strengthen technical and vocational education, and prioritize learning outcomes as the central measure of success. Or we risk producing a generation enrolled in school but unprepared for a modern world. Let me talk about agriculture and rural livelihoods. Agriculture employs approximately 68% of Uganda's workforce and contributes 24% to our GDP. Yet production, measured as value added per worker, stands at just $462 US dollars per year, among the lowest in East Africa. That's according to the Ministry of Agriculture Sector Performance Report. Again, government figures. The head of state highlighted selected success stories in dairy and coffee, but did not pay sufficient attention to the structural constraints that are trapping millions of smallholder farmers in low productivity and poor returns. Uganda has approximately 1 extension worker per 2,000 farmers against a recommended ratio of 1 per 400. With more than 5,000 extension positions vacant nationwide in all of our constituencies, the Auditor General's report of 2025 found only 44% of required extension workers across 135 local governments were fully employed. Meaning farmers who are receiving PDM money through their circles don't have technical guidance to use it productively. Because who is supposed to guide them? The positions are vacant. Only 4.6% of cultivated land is under irrigation. And post-harvest losses run 30 to 40% of perishable crops. Destruction of value caused not by farmers failing to produce, but by our failure to provide storage, cold chains, and market infrastructure. PDM, Parish Development Model, disburses 100 million shillings per parish annually. That's roughly 4,000 per household per month. A sum that honestly cannot transform smallholder productivity. And some of our parishes have a lot more people than others. That's the reality.
You know, we agreed on 30 minutes. I'm seeing I'm already in 43 minutes. So I don't know what we are going to do, and I'm seeing your statement is still long.
I seek your indulgence to run as quickly as I can.
Yeah, please do, since we have it all, you know, on record, and it's going to be debated, and you'll get more time to respond to some of the issues.
Let me move to ICT and digital transformation. Right, Honourable Speaker and members, the opposition shares government's aspiration for a digitally connected Uganda. So on that, we also agree. But digital transformation must be measured by whether citizens can access affordable internet, whether technology genuinely improves service delivery and accountability, not by systems launched or fiber laid. I'll now keep skipping a few things here and there. Let me move to works and transport. Honourable members, the head of state highlighted investment in roads and the standard gauge railway. Did not pay sufficient attention to the maintenance crisis that is consuming what has already been built. The Parliamentary Committee on Physical Infrastructure reported on the Integrated Transport Infrastructure System, ITIS, showing that over 95% of national, municipal, and town council roads are in poor condition, with transport costs accounting for up to 40% of Uganda's total exports. Even as absorption fell to 22.7% under the Greater Kampala Metropolitan Area Urban Development Program, leaving KCCA facing a road funding gap of about 45 billion. What would we like to see? Number one, restoration of the transport area's budget to at least 300 billion shillings with a binding 3-year clearance schedule approved by Parliament. And this money is for all our constituencies. Number two, quarterly audited reports, progress reports on the ETIS program, tabled before the relevant parliamentary committee. Number three, real accountability for non-performers. Uganda needs roads that last, rails that move cargo, and transport costs that fall. Not promises while contractors go unpaid and roads deteriorate. Let me talk about local government and service delivery. So the Honorable Minister for Local Government around. The quality of government is judged not at the center of power, but where citizens actually live. The PSST acknowledged in February of 2026 that more than a third of all public spending flows through local government, and that government fails to deliver services where citizens live if internal audit fails at that level. The Auditor General's annual report shows this is already the present reality. PDM, which is government's flagship program to alleviate poverty, is the most attractive case study in this case. Of 3.26 trillion released to over 10,500 PDM circles nationwide, only 2.7 trillion had been dispersed, had reached intended households by June of 2025, leaving 508 billion undistributed. In 55 local governments, 619 households were found implementing ineligible projects. That's according to the Auditor General. And the audit identified 109 confirmed ghost projects. These are people stealing taxpayers' money. Activities that exist on paper, receive public money, and have nothing happening on ground. We need to address this matter. It is imperative that critical staff vacancies be filled across local governments, that accounting officers responsible for the diverted funds face meaningful sanctions. I've seen the thrust of our colleagues in the Ministry of Local Government. We want to see action in this regard. Honorable Speaker, let me move to tourism, trade and industry. Tourism recorded strong performance in 2015, and the opposition says so plainly, because it's a fact. There was a strong performance last financial year. International arrivals grew 19.7% to 1.64 million visitors, exceeding the 2019 pre-pandemic benchmark because we had challenges of COVID at the time. And earnings reached a record 5.8 trillion, up 21.3% from 2024. The sector contributed 6.6% of GDP and directly supported 803,691 jobs. Yet this is being delivered despite a structural funding deficit. Honorable Speaker, current program funding of 492 billion falls way below the 620 billion required under NDP4. And the Uganda Tourism Board could not submit 16 planned international event bids. Why? Lack of subvention funds. Uganda ranks 112th on the World Economic Forum's Travel and Tourism Competitiveness Index, behind Kenya at 82nd, while Rwanda has invested over 330 billion since 2018 on tourism branding alone. That's just branding. More than Uganda's entire annual UTB budget, the entire. These comparisons should not be seen in bad light, because these are our sister countries in the East African community. There's only 4 5-star facilities that exist nationwide, and tourists leave an estimated 60% of potential spending untapped. This is a gold mine that we need to take care of. Mr. Speaker, let me move quickly to environment and natural resources. One of the most significant omissions in the address was environmental sustainability. NEMA's State of the Environment Report of 2025 shows Uganda has lost over 60% of its forest cover since independence, deforestation running at 92,000 hectares a year. One of the highest rates in sub-Saharan Africa. Wetland coverage has fallen from 15.6% of national land area to about 8.9%. This is an area we need to fix as well. Let me move to energy and minerals. Installed electricity generation capacity has risen to 2,098 megawatts. That's a notable achievement. And we are taking note of that achievement as the opposition. But it's not matched by access or efficient utilization. The UN country analysis for Uganda 2025 shows that by 2024, only 53% of households had access to electricity and just 25% were connected to the national grid. We need to fix this area as well. Let me move, Right Honorable Speaker, to Presidency, then the Office of the Prime Minister and Defense. The head of state spoke strongly against corruption and non-performance. These are welcome pronouncements. But credibility requires accountability to begin at the institutions closest to the center of power. And on that test, the record is unsatisfactory. The Office of the Prime Minister, designated by Article 108A as the engine room of government, has repeatedly been linked to major accountability failures. And these are issues we have discussed here, including parliamentary reports. In March of 2026, OPM officials appeared before the Public Accounts Committee this very year over allegations that 3.5 billion shillings earmarked for victims of the Kitezi landfill collapse had been diverted to activities elsewhere. Again, we need to act on the pronouncements that we are making, Mr. Speaker. Let me move to the last sector, and that's the East African community and regional integration. The opposition supports regional integration, and the Pan-African vision is one that we share. But meaningful integration requires more than declarations. The EAC Secretariat's Regional Integration Report of 2025 shows intra-EAC trade at only about 18% of total regional trade. And the East African Monetary Union, originally targeted for 2025, has been postponed indefinitely for lack of the fiscal indiscipline and institutional convergence that it requires. Now that we are promoting EAC, we need to act upon it. Honorable Speaker, I did see the other day a lawyer within the region who is licensed to practice here being barred from accessing our country. And she was issued a decision that you are not wanted here, persona non grata. Let's follow the process even as that happens. She probably should have been given a chance to explain herself that this is what we are charging you with. You then have a chance to explain yourself. When we expel, we have been complaining about South Africans who are expelling nationals, including Ugandans. Let's not do the same. In conclusion, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the facts presented in this, my response, paint a clear picture. While progress has been made in some areas, many Ugandans continue to face poverty, unemployment, poor public services, and growing pressure on their livelihoods. And the gap between official claims and daily experience is still wide. Ugandans want decent healthcare, quality education, reliable infrastructure, opportunities to earn a living, accountable government management of public resources, and respect for the rule of law by all institutions. These are reasonable expectations. They're not out of the world or wild expectations, really. And they should be at the center of government action. The opposition will continue to advocate for these priorities and to hold government accountable for its commitments to the people of Uganda. We love this country dearly. Let me say that again. We love this country dearly. And we commit to working towards its betterment. That's precisely why we keep raising the concerns that we do, so that we get to fix them. And when our country thrives, we all thrive, all of us. I say all this for God and my country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rob. Colleagues, this is provided for under Rule 55 of our Rules of Procedure. I've listened to the other side. And we are going to start a debate on Tuesday next week. So I request whips to whip your members and use your research departments, our parliamentary research department. We shall be giving each member 3 minutes uninterrupted, because this is a debate where each one will be given an opportunity. 3 minutes uninterrupted of submitting. And we shall ensure that at least each member who wants to speak is given an opportunity to speak on this motion. That one I've agreed on it with this Right Honorable Speaker, and I hope all of you will make maiden speeches, at least. Okay, colleagues, I want us to use 10 minutes. We handle item 4.2 and then we do item number 5.
Item 4.2, statement by Minister on the Local Council and Women Council elections 2026.
Honourable Minister for Local Government.
Right Honourable Speaker, permit me to congratulate you on your re-election, and I convey my warm greetings from the wonderful people of Masaka City, Ekibuga kya Ssaabasajja Kabaka, who I am honored to represent in this parliament, the 12th Parliament of the Republic of Uganda. I commend this august House for granting the Ministry an opportunity to present this paper on the elections of LC1 and LC2 administrative units, a matter that goes to the very foundation of service delivery. It concerns leaders at the last mile and grassroots, where lives of millions of Ugandans are shaped. I move on to the paper, Right Honourable. Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable Members, you will recall that upon the expiry of the elected term of office of the administrative units, that is LC1 and LC2 councils, and women councils in July 2023, Regulation 11A of the third schedule to the Local Governments Act, CAP 138, was amended, hence providing the Minister of Local Government with powers to extend the term of office of these administrative units, that is LC1 and LC2 councils, for a period not exceeding 180 days a time. The Women Councils Act, CAP 113, also enabled the Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development to extend the term of office of women councils and committees for a period not exceeding 180 days. The term of office of the administrative units, LC1, LC2 councils, women councils and committees has regularly been extended for periods not exceeding 180 days, with the extension taking effect, with the first extension taking effect on 10th July 2023. The most recent extension, which was the 6th extension, took effect on December 26th, 2025. The current term of office of the administrative units of Local Council 1 and Local Council 2 expired on 28th June 2026. In accordance with the Regulation 11A, as earlier mentioned, of the Local Government Councils regulations, the Honourable Minister of Local Government extended the term of office of the current office bearers to perform its functions until newly elected leaders assume office after a formal handover. The Electoral Commission has since issued a roadmap for the conduct of the 2026 administrative units, that is LC1 and LC2 council elections, as follows. The village LC1 elections will be held on 28th July 2026 at every village. The parish LC2 elections will take place on 10th August 2026 at every parish headquarter. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, these elections are of great importance because local councils constitute the foundation of Uganda's decentralized government system. The local councils are the first point of contact between government and citizens. They play a central role in maintaining security and order, resolving disputes through local council courts, mobilizing communities for development, supporting government programs such as the Parish Development Model and EMIOGA, as well as monitoring service delivery. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, the law is prescriptive and categorical on majority of the elections for Local Council 1 and Local Council 2 administrative units and for women councils. Therefore, the provisions governing these elections are established and this House is fully conversant with them, so I will not break them down. Response to the specific questions raised on the floor of Parliament. Right Honorable, my senior minister, the Honorable Balam Bargahare, was here in this August House yesterday and a number of questions were raised. He's not able to be here because he's attending to our people in Bulambuli, and we shall come to the other districts respectively, and the MPs will be fully made aware accordingly. So this is the response to specific questions raised on the floor of Parliament. Right Honorable Speaker, allow me to respond to the specific questions as follows. Question 1. Sensitization on the ongoing registration and election of LC1 chairpersons and Women Council chairpersons. It is the mandate of the Electoral Commission to do sensitization and voter education on matters regarding elections. Whereas the Electoral Commission is doing awareness through media, print media, electronic media, social media, there is need for strengthening and enhancing this sensitization. The Ministry of Local Government is working closely with the Electoral Commission on an effective mobilization strategy in these remaining days to step up mobilization and ensure voters turn up in big numbers to elect their leaders. Right Honorable Speaker, we commend all the leaders, some of them being members here, honorable members, who have done the patriotic role so far of popularizing these elections and reminding the citizens of their role in these elections and reminding the leaders that need to participate to make sure application of for that national ID, they are still welcome to application of for that national ID, they are still welcome to the village council, which means the consequent of people that will vote for the leaders. And of course, this resident must be a resident, must have a residence in this village. It doesn't matter whether they own the residence or rent it or live with relatives, as long as they have a place of abode in this village. All persons appearing for registration shall be required to prove that they meet the above-mentioned qualifications. Right Honorable Speaker, it is important to note that the electoral process at the parish level is different from the village level. At parish level, the people eligible for voting are members of the different executive committees of the village councils. These constitute an electoral college that votes members of the executive committee at parish level. For clarity, Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, let me say that one more time. These constitute an electoral college that votes the members of the executive committee at parish level. Furthermore, according to Section 123, subsection 2 of the Local Governments Act, Cap 138, the election of village or cell council chairperson in parish or ward council chairperson shall be by the electorate lining behind the candidate nominated for the office. Their respective portrait, you could line up behind the respective portrait of that candidate or symbols. Question 3 was voting program. Right Honorable Speaker, the voting program, I will quote as provided by the Electoral Commission, will run as follows. 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. verification of voters by the village election official, brackets presiding officer. 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. voter education and briefing of voters on voting procedures by the village election official, brackets presiding officer. 11 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. voting by the electorate lining up and counting. Voting by the electorate lining up. And thereafter, the counting of votes, because the votes are lining up. 11:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. filling of Form EC10 and declaration of the chairperson-elect. 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. nomination and approval of executive committee members by the village council and filling Form EC11. Conclusion. Right Honorable Speaker, in conclusion, I wish to request as follows. That Parliament goes into recess to enable members of Parliament to go to their respective constituencies and mobilize the masses to turn up and exercise their democratic right to vote for their local leaders. That the 28th day of July 2026 be declared a public holiday to enable voters to travel to their villages and exercise their democratic right to vote for their local leaders. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to submit.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Minister. Number one, for updating us. Number two, for taking up a role beyond your ministry, because the Minister of Justice is the one who should be doing this. But I remember yesterday, because it was with local government, I requested local government to do that, and I'm sure he worked with the Ministry of Justice, and Attorney General is always here to give a supporting role in case there is anything that would need to add on. Number three, on your requests, tomorrow we have the Business Committee of Parliament. I will present it to the Business Committee, and Government Chief, please also emphasize it, so that we see how much time we would give you, Honorable colleague, because personally I will go home to vote. Yeah, I must go and vote for my LC1. It's extremely critical. Okay? Yeah. If I was allowed, I would even vote for women. I'm a member of UOPA, but when it comes to what? Then the one for public holiday, I think that's a cabinet issue, which I think Minister of Public Service will look at. Now let me allow the Shadow Minister for Local Government to... No, the Shadow Minister for Local Government. Okay? But colleagues, these days you've become sharp. I make my statement, you edit and add on yours.
Thank you. I think my colleague has some element of gender through your office.
Yeah.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I'll be very brief, because I would like to, first of all, thank you for giving us this opportunity to interact with our line ministries. I thank you for that. But I also want to join you and the honorable colleagues in mourning with the deceased people who died through this tragic accident, where I also lost a relative, and we are burying tomorrow. On a sad note, may the soul of all the departed rest in eternal peace, and also those who got injured get the blessing of the Lord, and they get healed and get back to their families as we become productive citizens. Right Honourable Speaker, allow me to quickly make a statement on the question we addressed.
Honourable, you don't make a statement.
Okay.
Just,
okay, a response.
One,
on the issue of sensitization, I want to applaud my line minister for being very, very clear. I would say in your response, you were I'm very satisfied with the response you gave. And I would applaud you because you were not the colleague we were seeing up there. This is very commendable. I think we shall go a long way to work together. So, on the question of, and also honorable colleagues,
On the question of, residence, I think you were on point. You made it very, very clear. And I thank you for that, my Honorable Minister. The only bit that is remaining, through you, Chair, is the question of officers deployed on operational duties. Yeah, so you should make clarity on that. I thank you. And then on the voting timetable, I think you were also very clear on that, on the schedules. My only concern to you is this election is a little different from the one we had ourselves. Because remember, these villagers are back into production periods and their election is time bound according to the program you've given. If voting is going to start at 11, it is going to be at 11. And my prayer to you is that try and make sure that the sensitization go and reach the last village. Because some of our villages are so wide and they may not walk like during the last election, where others walk for 4 or 5 miles and they were still able to participate in the election within the time. But in this case, remember, it is at a specific time. So try to make that very clear to them. And also, as you do that, make sure that the structures, the people who are manning these elections, from the last election, we had a bit of a hiccup where some facilitations were not accorded, especially the constable were all over social medias for unpaid money. And yet these are the very people who are going to man this very difficult LC1 election. So I pray that you work with the Electoral Commission to ensure that the very people who are not facilitated from the last election, because if they are demoralized, certainly there will be a lot of gaps. And then as we go, I also agree with you that you forward our concern to the cabinet so that we go on recess. I agree with that too. Also, public holiday is very important. When I was in the village last
Thank you. Honorable, you've already agreed with whatever. Now, we don't need to go into justifying the agreement. Now, honorable colleagues, I'm thinking, Attorney General, I don't know if you can guide us, because you see, the Ministry of Local Government is not the one in charge of election. And the questions we are asking are very specific. Shadow Minister, we are done. Okay? So I was thinking, okay, and I just want to have a consensus of you, honorable colleagues, that we carry over this debate to tomorrow so that the Minister for Justice, or if Attorney General is ready, they go and consult. Okay? And even usually they come with a technical officer, because this is an issue of facts, not opinion. If it's this date, if it's this time, if it's this payment, it's facts. Cannot come and argue about it. So that we do it tomorrow. Attorney General, I don't know how you see it.
Right, Honorable, I'm in agreement with your proposal. We can give a comprehensive response tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, we debate tomorrow. Tomorrow it will be the first item, and I will start with the Minister for Shadow for Gender. Honorable Minister for Local Government.
Right, Honorable Speaker, thank you so much. I humbly request, Right Honorable, that the honorable members are allowed to react to specifically what I presented, because tomorrow we already have laid out programs of the ministry being in the field, and they were shifted to...
You see, Honorable Minister, what I'm saying
But
is...
however, the Ministry of Justice, I'm just saying, if the Ministry of Justice is specifically going to present, Right Honorable Speaker, I beg for your protection.
Yeah, please. Honorable, continue.
Thank you, Right Honorable. If the Ministry of Justice will present tomorrow without specifically needing the backing of the ministers of local government, we would kindly appreciate that.
Now, Honorable Minister, why I was saying this, this information you brought is from Ministry of Justice. is from Electoral Commission. It is from Ministry of Justice, which supervises Electoral Commission. Now, yours is mobilization.
Yes.
Which you've
Honorable,
done very well.
right.
I don't know if you have. I just wanted to know if you have any legal mandate.
Honorable members, none of you has a right to tell any member of parliament to sit down. No.
Honorable.
No. I was simply thanking the speaker so I could go and take my seat.
Okay.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you.
I can sit without being held in my waist. Thank you, Honorable.
Thank you. So, yeah. So, honorable colleagues, order. Now, why I've guided this way, I don't want to put the ministry, which is not responsible for organizing elections, on the spot, on the issue. They've done a great job getting all this information and doing the mobilization. So mainly, we wanted the Ministry of Local Government on the part of mobilization, but also on mobilization, you can see the minister has said the Electoral Commission is responsible. So I would want the Electoral Commission, which is represented by the minister. I want to thank you, Honorable Namere, for the great job here. Honorable colleagues, next item. Tomorrow we shall resume on this debate so that I can allow more of you with the Minister of Justice. And we get more and more information. Okay? Thank you. Next item.
Item 5 on the other paper, motion seeking leave of Parliament to introduce a private member's bill entitled the Administration of Parliament Amendment Bill.
Thank you. Honorable colleagues, the private member's bill, you as a private member, you have the right to present a bill, a private member's bill, as clearly enshrined under Rule 127, Rule 128, and Article 79, Article 94 of the Constitution. Now, when a bill, a private member's bill comes, or a member comes for a motion seeking relief, as presiding officers, what do we look at? Number one, we look through your draft and we ask ourselves, does this offend Article 93 of the Constitution, which is limitation on matters of finances, that is having a charge on the consolidated fund? Number two, does it affect non-derogable rights? Are you trying to suppress non-derogable rights? Number three, Article Rule 123, is it establishing a one-party rule? You know, these are the things we look at. And the moment we find that you conform to that, you don't offend those provisions, as presiding officers, our hands are tied. Now the next phase will be for the House to decide whether a member proceeds with the private member's bill or not. Okay? So, Honorable Namara, clarification, Honorable Samba, then Honorable Kakoza.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, in the 11th Parliament, there is a member that came before us here with a similar desire to amend the Administration of Parliamentary Act. And that time, the member was from our side, from opposition, and we thought he was rightly placed. And political parties from this side, right honorable, they were invited here, they all rejected. Now, the clarification I want to hear from you, right honorable Speaker, whether this parliament will proceed properly on a matter of political parties, where they made their statements, and whether Ugandans will take us serious anyway, where political parties put their issues clearly, their positions clearly known, and this house, it is on record of this house. When we keep pushing for the same, Mr. Speaker, you can guide us whether the other parliament, having dealt with the same issue, and the issue, the political parties were heard, they gave their opinions, whether it is right also to continue with the same, right honorable Speaker.
Honorable Sawungu on this one.
Mr. Speaker, I was also in this house, the 11th Parliament, and in Australia, there's a type of hunting done by those people in Australia by use of what they call a boomerang. And when you are using a boomerang, you throw a stick to kill a bird in the air. But at the end of the day, if you don't catch that bird, the boomerang comes on you. The honourable member from Bijaga County, it is very imperative to know whether this is the first assignment he has from his constituent to come and bring an amendment. I've been reading this Twitter page of his. Everything here is a boomerang on him.
Honorable Sawungu, and just there. Let me ask you. Now, a private member has a right to move a bill here. And I don't think any member has a right to be told how his constituents will react or not, because he knows the constituency he represents. And the issues we are talking about, we are bordering on arguing on a motion which is not yet presented. So don't you think it would be prudent for us to proceed with the motion and then we debate and we decide? Because in relation to what Honorable Nsamba has raised, one, here we don't have bills which are a preserve of which side presents them, apart from bills that do have a charge on the consolidated fund, which are clearly prescribed under Article 93 of the Constitution. Okay? So any member can move any bill apart from those which are preserved for government. And those are clearly provided for by Article 93 of the Constitution. Number two, Honorable Namara was not here when whatever happened. He doesn't know why the member withdrew or the arguments which were provided. And the same political parties are here. They can make those arguments and you convince members. It's not for me to decide. It's you, honorable colleagues. Okay? So with that, I'm going to allow Honorable Namara to present his motion. No, let Honorable Namara Dennis present his motion. And because Honorable Sawungu, I will not allow you to continue intimidating a member, saying in your constituency you're facing problems. So kindly take your seat. Let Honorable Namara do his work of representing his people.
Thank you so much.
Then after, we are going to debate. I'm going to open up with debate. Okay? Yes, Honorable Namara.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise under Article 79, 1995 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, as well as Article 94 of the Constitution and Rules 58, 127 of the Rules of Procedure of Parliament, to move a motion seeking leave of Parliament to introduce a private member's bill entitled the Administration of Parliament Amendment Bill. Whereas Article 79 of the 1995 Constitution of the Republic of Uganda vests unto Parliament the power to make laws on any matter for the peace, order, development, and good governance of Uganda, and whereas Article 94, Clause 4B of the Constitution and Rule 127 of the Rules of Procedure of Parliament grants a member of Parliament the right to move a private member's bill.
Honorable Namara, procedure.
Right Honorable Speaker, in your communication about this motion, you indicated that the member informed you about that his bill does not affect Article 93 of the Constitution. I expected Honorable Namara to lay on the table a certificate of financial implications before he runs around his unwanted motion. Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Now, honorable colleagues, Rule 128 of our Rules of Procedure has moved under Rule 127, but now Rule 128 of our Rules of Procedure is very clear. A private member will table a motion, and once that motion, he must attach a draft bill. Now, that's a draft bill which me as a presiding officer, I have to assess and see whether it does not negatively impact on the provisions I cited earlier on, especially Article 93 of the Constitution, and ensuring the bill doesn't go against non-derogable rights, doesn't establish a one-party state. Now, listen to me properly. See, I'm the custodian of the rules. Please listen to me. Okay? Please, please, please. Then once the motion is carried, once we give a member the leave, now the member is going to go to the Attorney General, First Parliamentary Council, go to the clerk, they help him polish up the bill very well. Okay? Aligning it with the object and principles. Once that's done, he will take it to the Minister of Finance to seek a certificate of financial implication. Once it is cleared, then he will bring it back to Parliament and it will be gazetted and tabled for first reading. So certificate of financial implication is a requirement on first reading, not on leave. Now, if you mistake it with a government bill, because the government bill for it right away, okay, it comes with a certificate. But here, he's asking for permission. He's saying, give me permission, I go and draft a bill. Okay? So honorable colleagues, it's very, very clear. On first reading, he will require that. Thank you, Honorable Seungu. Hey, now that doesn't give you away on the microphone. No. Honorable Seungu, no. Supporting me does not mean you go on the microphone. Kindly take your seat. No. Honorable Dennis, please continue.
Honorable Speaker, we pardon the members for their sheer ignorance of the law.
Honorable Namara, that's not a language.
I withdraw.
Thank you.
I withdraw.
Thank you.
Aware that the embracement of political pluralism in 2005 and the subsequent amendment of the Constitution in 2006 led to the establishment of the office of the Leader of the Opposition in Parliament under Article 82A of the 1995 Constitution. Further aware that in 2006 the Administration of Parliament Act was amended to provide for the election of the Leader of Opposition and the grounds for vacation of the office of the Leader of the Opposition in Parliament. Acknowledging that the election of the Leader of the Opposition in Parliament under Section 8 of the Administration of Parliament Act is restricted to the most numerically dominant opposition party in Parliament, who may consult members of other opposition political parties in Parliament and independent members of Parliament. Further acknowledging that the prevailing grounds for removal of the Leader of Opposition from office are inadequate and requires expansion to include incompetence and misconduct,
as a safeguard for accountability, efficiency, and effectiveness. Noting that reforming the manner of election of the leader of opposition in Parliament may, by requiring the involvement of all opposition political parties in Parliament, will bolster inter-party cooperation and dialogue, national cohesion, and the growth of political pluralism in fulfillment of the democratic principles enshrined in the national objectives and directive principles of state policy as detailed in the 1995 Constitution of the Republic of Uganda. Further noting that expanding the grounds of vacation of office of the leader of opposition in Parliament to include incompetence and misconduct will hedge the performance and behavior of the duty bearer against abuse, appreciating that the proposed amendments to the Administration of Parliament Act will necessitate a corresponding amendment to the rules of procedure with regard to the procedure for election of the leader of opposition in Parliament and vacation of office of the leader of opposition in Parliament. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Parliament grants me leave to introduce a private members' bill entitled the Administration of Parliament Amendment Bill. Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to move.
Thank you. The motion is seconded. Honourable Okwalinga, Honourable Ngopek, Honourable Linda Auma, Honourable Ngopek. So, Honourable Namara, would you want to justify your motion?
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker and all members. First of all, we must acknowledge that this is a new parliament. This is a new parliament, and every new parliament is supposed to make laws and rules for the better functioning of that parliament. This is not the 11th parliament, it is the 12th parliament. And the Administration of Parliament Act talks about how parliament functions. It is the internal nuts and bolts of how the internal technicalities and operations of parliament are executed. Therefore, that's why we say at the inception of this parliament, we should come up with the laws and rules for the better functioning of this parliament. All said and done, Right Honourable Speaker and all members, we are talking about anchoring democracy. Democracy cannot only be on the side of the national resistance movement. Democracy should be on two sides. If you are seeking, those people, the maxim of equity says those who seek equity must come with clean hands. So when you come and say government should be accountable, even on your side, you should be accountable. Right Honourable Speaker, the bill is to amend the Administration of Parliament Act to provide for the election of the leader of opposition by members of the opposition in Parliament from amongst themselves. That's one. Number two, to provide additional grounds upon which the leader of the opposition may cease hold office for purposes of accountability. If every person, every minister of the government of Uganda can be censured because they draw money from the consolidated fund, how come there are no checks and balances on the side of the leader of opposition who draws money from the consolidated fund? Number three, to require the shadow cabinet to be approved by all members of the opposition, not only one political party. Number three, Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to be protected by some...
Honourable, they are not on record.
Oh,
continue.
Thank you very much. Number four, also, Right Honourable Speaker, as you can see, from the appointment of the committees of Parliament and international bodies, only one political party out of 17 positions has taken 16. The other political parties, we don't talk about the position of one political party. We talk about opposition parties in Parliament. Which type of equity do you talk about when 17 positions are taken by one political party, and yet we have more than 5 political parties in Parliament? What are the defects in the existing legislation? When you look at the cabinet, Right Honourable Speaker and members, out of 30 ministers, 20 of them are from one political party. The rest share only 10. We are saying you want to entrench democracy. What you preach to us is what you must practice. What are the defects in the existing law? In July 2005, Uganda transitioned from the movement political system to a multi-party political system through a national referendum. The adoption of the multi-party system of governance So the amendment of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda to create the office of the Leader of Opposition in Parliament. And subsequently in 2006, the Administration of Parliament Act was amended to provide for the office of the Leader of Opposition. Section 8 of the Administration of Parliament Act provides for the election of the Leader of Opposition in Parliament to the government having the greatest numerical strength in Parliament. Whereas Section 8 of the Administration of Parliament Act requires the Leader of Opposition in Parliament to be determined through consultation with other political parties in opposition and independent members of Parliament. It has been a norm that the choosing of the Leader of Opposition is not done in Parliament. And yet the law is about the Administration of Parliament Act. But the choosing of the Leader of Opposition is handled from outside Parliament. We want the members of the opposition, together with the independent members of opposition who are here, as the law provides, to be consulted on that matter. Honourable Speaker, what are the remedies we are looking at? One, the Leader of Opposition to be elected by all the members of the opposition political parties. Number two, additional grounds upon which the Leader of the Opposition may cease to hold office, because you need to be accountable. If people cannot elect you, then you cannot be accountable. You are accountable to the people who elected you. The President of Uganda by law can be censured by this Parliament. The Prime Minister by law can be censured by this Parliament. All the ministers here can be censured by this Parliament. Who are you that the Leader of Opposition cannot be checked by this Parliament? We therefore put that ground. The Leader of Opposition is to consult other political parties represented in Parliament when appointing persons and deputy chairpersons of standing committees. Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to submit.
Thank you. Seconders, Honourable Linus Ngopek, 3 minutes, and then after Honourable Kwaringa.
Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable Members, I rise to support the bill to amend the Administration of Parliament Act, CAP 272, for the following reasons. Honourable Members, whereas Section 8 of the Administration of Parliament Act requires the Leader of Opposition in Parliament to be determined through an elective process, A, the Act and the rules do not prescribe how the election to determine the LOP are conducted. Over the years, practice has developed where the LOP is merely designated by the party with the highest numerical strength among opposition parties in Parliament. This simply means imposition of someone to the rest of the opposition in Parliament, and yet democratic principles of governance dictate that there ought to be wider participation in the process to determine the leadership. B, even where political parties undertake internal processes to designate the LOP, those internal processes are not democratic and deny members of the opposition the right to offer their candidature to serve as LOP, since the LOP is merely imposed on the members without election. This not only infringes Section 8 of the Act, which requires elections to be conducted to determine the LOP, but also affronts Article 71 in bracket 1 in bracket C of the Constitution, which requires that the internal organization of political parties shall conform to the democratic principles enshrined in the Constitution. As a result, there is need to amend the Administration of Parliament Act, CAP 272 to A, allow for the participation of all members of the opposition in Parliament in the election of the Leader of Opposition in order to achieve effective representation. B, to reflect the role and status of the LOP in our democracy by ensuring that the LOP is the Leader of the Opposition, the Leader of all members of the opposition parties in Parliament, and his or her election should reflect that status and role. I beg to submit. Right Honorable. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Honorable Kwaringa. Procedure, Honorable Masaba. Then Honorable Kwaringa.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, and I raise under procedure Rule 2 on the interpretation of our rules of procedure. The definition of an independent member of parliament means a member of parliament elected to parliament independent of any political party or organization. Go ahead to the leader of the opposition means a member of parliament who is the leader in parliament of the party in opposition to the government and having the greatest numerical strength in parliament. Right, Honorable Speaker? I'm an independent member of parliament and I'm serving my second term. I've never subscribed to any political party. I've never subscribed to any political party and I've been able to win and I've been re-elected as an independent member of parliament. The previous two members have been referring to us, the independents, to be part or involved in the election of the leader of opposition. Yet, the leader of opposition is defined, and me as an independent, I do not subscribe to NRM, I do not subscribe to the opposition. So, Right Honorable Speaker, as an independent, I wouldn't want to be involved in any matter concerning the opposition or the NRM, unless I do have a memorandum of understanding as some of the independents who have the MOUs with the National Resistance Movement. So the procedural matter I'm raising is are the two honorable members proceeding well to keep referring to us, the independents, me, an independent, as one who should be involved? Because yes, they have, according to his justification and according to what he has stated, he's saying as the independent member of parliament, we need to take part in the election of the leader of opposition. So, Right Honorable Speaker, are we proceeding well if, or by the honorable members referring to me, an independent, as one who needs to take part in the matters of the opposition? Thank you very much.
Thank you. No, you see, the member is referring to the rules and the law. So he has committed no offense. But, honorable colleagues, you see, when you're going to debate this motion, okay, two major things. One, does it cure a lacuna in the law? Are you getting me? That's a question. Yeah, that's a question. And me, I will know that through your voting. Are you getting me? How you vote on the motion is how I will know. Because you have someone who says it does, you have another one who says it doesn't, so you need someone in between who will put you to a vote. That's number one. Number two, yes, listen. And you see, that's a problem of moving ahead. We are not discussing the bill. The member is saying, give me permission to go and prepare a bill. That's it. Okay? That's what he's saying. And I remember, honorable colleagues, there are bills which have come here and we fail them on second reading. If we don't find them, okay. So, but a member is saying, please, there is a case on, there is a prima facie case, there is a case on the surface that there is a gap in the law. So I want to go and tour this gap through the law. So it is you to decide whether to allow him or no. Very simple. So, and on the issue of independence, Honorable Masaba, okay, I would request you, one, if you feel uncomfortable, you exempt yourself from this debate. That's number one. Because number two, I have some independents who have already expressed interest in the matter, so you can't speak for all of them. Here, independents, you are independent of each other. You cannot have one which is binding the other. But those are details which would be in a bill which is not here. Yes. Right? So, I was having Honorable Kwaringa.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I rise to support the bill to amend the Administration of Parliament Act Cap 272 for the following. One of the democratic principles enshrined in the Constitution is non-discrimination and inclusivity as provided in Article 21 of the Constitution. And it requires that no person shall be discriminated on grounds prescribed in the Constitution, including political opinion. It is my belief that the proposal in the bill to have the law elected by all opposition political parties in Parliament will usher in an inclusive process that will be open to all members of the opposition parties, irrespective of their numerical strength in Parliament. 2. What will happen in a situation where two opposition parties get equal MPs elected in the House? Who will be now appointing the leader of opposition? The law is for the future. The law is for the future. The proposals in the bill give a voice to the smaller parties in the decision-making of Parliament. It should be noted that currently the party with the greatest numerical strength among opposition parties in Parliament makes all the decisions in Parliament relating to the opposition and has continuously ignored the voices and views of other opposition political parties and independent members in electing law. Whereas the opposition is a major office, whereas the leader of opposition is a major office in parliamentary system.
Order. Right, Honourable Speaker, the honourable member is my good friend. And indeed, I was with him on the censure of commissioners together throughout the whole system. But the rules are very clear of Parliament that you refer to your notes, which not read.
Which rule, Honourable?
The rule which is in these rules. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, is the honourable member in order to continue reading, whereas the rules don't allow us to read, but we refer to our notes, as I bring that your rule in the rules of procedure. My good friend, Mr. Speaker, Rule 9. So, the honourable member is in order to continue reading instead of referring to his notes.
Honourable colleague, please, Rule 9 refers to the sitting in the House. Rule 9 is about sitting arrangement in the House. So, Honourable Parenga, please continue.
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker. Actually, it now reminds me on one of
now don't be diverted. I'm saving you. You're just here now.
Whereas the leader of the opposition is a major office in Parliament, in the parliamentary system and in the administration of Parliament. As it is now, it does not prescribe the procedures and grounds for it is what? Removal. There is therefore lack of grounds to secure the office of law, meaning that law can be removed anytime without even justification. That is why we want to come up with an amendment to protect the office of law democratically. Because right now, somebody can wake up somewhere in the headquarters of a certain party and remove you. For us, we want to secure your tenure democratically. Consequently, as a result, there is a need therefore to amend the Administration of Parliament Act to, among others, first, to empower members of Parliament to hold the law accountable by prescribing the procedures and grounds upon which a leader of opposition may cease to hold that office. to encourage opposition party cohesion, foster unity and trust among them by ensuring that, one, the law is elected through a democratic and a consultative process which will take into account the views and aspirations of all shades of opinion of opposition in the Parliament of Uganda. Further, to ensure that the shadow cabinet is appointed through a consultative democratic process, since the law, being the leader of opposition parties in the Parliament, may designate members of the opposition party to a committee of Parliament and to a shadow cabinet. Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to submit in support of the proposed bill.
Yeah.
And motion.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, honourable colleagues, so it's just for record purposes, because I wanted us to make it very easy with my senior brother, Honourable Sewungu. So, Rule 78, okay? It limits us from reading, but it allows the member to consult notes. But then 78 too, it gives a speaker powers to allow a member to read in exceptional circumstances. So, Honourable Okwaringa was right. I've given him exceptional permission. But my brother Honorable Masaba, because he raised the critical issue of independence and not being involved. But you see, Section 8(2) of the Administration of Parliament Act, in electing the leader of the opposition, the party to which he or she belongs may consult other political parties in opposition to government and independent members of parliament. Okay? So we don't have independents who belong to opposition. Independents can swing anywhere. Yes, can go anywhere. So the word is independent. I want to go by what the law says. So independent, you know, and I think these are things maybe which in future we should look into and we try to protect independence from. Like avoid. So honorable colleagues, I'm going to allow debate and the MPs. Okay. Then I'm just going to pick one. I pick two, Wakiso, and I pick. I pick Arenos, 3. Then, and Cohen, 4.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I was persuaded by the Honourable Samba, who is actually drawing your attention.
Yes, I've given Honourable Alenyo on this. Okay, then I will not, Alenyo, I will leave him. I'll pick one. Okay, I have, I wanted, there is that gentleman. Yes. No, I want some new members. On honorable colleagues, I want Cyrus also. The one behind is also Cyrus?
No.
No, I will allow you, honorable.
Mohenda Ronald.
Yeah, Mohenda Ronald, sorry. Mohenda Ronald. Yes. So I have picked, I also want some new members. So Honorable Cohen, Honorable Teira, Honorable Narima, then Honorable Mohenda.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I wanted to join you to set the record straight. The Honourable Samba, when raised the matter of moving the bill from one parliament to another, Right Honourable Speaker, in this House we have the Honourable Annie Adeke. In the 11th Parliament, she moved the Sexual Offences Bill. But that bill had been moved in the 10th Parliament by the Honourable Amoding. So I wanted it to be clear on record that there is nothing that stops a bill from surfacing in this House, even if it was raised before. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Narima.
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, being my maiden time as your chair, allow me also to congratulate you upon that post. Right Honourable Speaker, back on the matter that is on floor, allow me to draw this House to the framers of the Constitution. At that time, when the country is practicing multipartyism. And there was a provision for the leader of opposition. And what was the intent? You look at the fact that during our elections, we go through campaigns, and the first runner-up of the parties in this country can only be represented by the party in opposition with the highest numerical strength. So what did they have to think about that? That we should have who checks well government. You realize that today, for example, the composition of parliament, the number of independents, already many of us here, the independents have a memorandum of understanding with the ruling government. Now, how best will the number of independents contribute to matters of opposition, yet they're already with government as per their memoranda of understanding? I just pray at this moment, let's reconsider. If we are talking about inclusivity and equity, talk about the Prime Minister should this side also rethink and start moving a bill so that the Prime Minister is also chosen by the opposition. Shall we be fair when we start thinking along those lines? I just pray and request that to maintain harmony. If at all the leader of opposition, the main role is to check government, let's reconsider the way the leader of opposition is checked, and rather is chosen, and we maintain that further that thinking of the framers of the Constitution, that during multipartyism we shall have the leader of opposition, and whose duty will be mainly to keep the government in check, and that government cannot be checked by independents who already are numerical in strength and already have memoranda of understanding. I beg to move.
Thank you. Sometimes we tap into the wisdom of elders. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues. Ufuno pondos naine opodel. Addressing on point of information, let me give point of clarification to Honorable Naruyima. Actually, the members of opposition do debate and vote for the confirmation of the Vice President of this floor and the Prime Minister. And through the committee on appointments, you actually appoint the ministers by participating in voting, approve. Therefore, in principle, there is nothing wrong in members of the entire opposition. Indeed, there's nothing wrong if we will take the route that the ruling side does vote for the leader of opposition, because that's a principle. Thank you very much. Thank you. I had allowed Honorable Ronald, then Honorable Cohen. Yes, Honorable, please.
Right Honorable Speaker, as an independent member of Parliament, I am thankful that we are also coming into the conversation, because we have honestly been out of it. It has been NRM opposition, NRM opposition. Now, because of our numerical strength, we are coming into the conversation, into the equation. Now that that is the case, yesterday we saw what happened about the administration and leadership of the Parliament. I think we should not be looked at when it's convenient to be looked at. We are a very strong participant. We are, like you're saying, numerically strong today. It is my thinking that as we move forward, we should equally prepare ourselves for a situation we are in. It's a unique parliament. You have over 60-something independent member of parliament. What do you do with them? What conversations now do you have with them? So finally, I'm thinking that we can even think of ourselves as, if we are talking about leader of opposition, leader of an alternative voice. We are not opposition.
but we have alternative voices. Thank you.
Honorable Cohen.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. There is, and my colleagues, the bill before this House seeks, the motion is seeking leave of Parliament. We shall have the time to discuss about this. The bill is about to arrive. And there are two ways. There comes a time when the government eats on children. But there is a time also when opposition eats on children. Its own children. Children. A child. Yes. You understand that? Now, when we are before this Parliament, colleagues, let us not work in anticipation of what is going to happen. And I can guarantee you this bill will come to the Parliamentary and Legal Affairs. You will find the legal mind there. We shall debate about it. There will be public participation on whether it fits the bill. It will be either defeated in the Parliamentary and Legal Affairs or by this Parliament. And we can guarantee we shall be there for you, for everyone. So long as the bill meets what we call the constitutional threshold, we shall be there. Don't worry, let the bill come and you'll find us in the wrong way. Thank you very much.
Honorable Adeke, then Honorable Javira.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. It's very interesting that the movers, all the movers of this bill are members of the NRM, very concerned about the opposition. Right Honorable Speaker, I oppose the motion to grant the member leave to introduce a private member's bill, and that is based on the unconstitutionality of this bill. It totally negates the principle of multi-party politics. Because multi-party politics is about enabling an opposition to do what it can do without taking advantage of your numerical strength. What the mover of this bill seeks to do is to use the numerical strength in this House. Little wonder actually that all the movers are from the NRM. Right Honorable Speaker, I just want to touch on that provision that you read in the Principal Act. That provision of Section 8 that you read. Pardon me because the bill was attached to the motion. The language that is used in that section that you read is may. And what the mover is seeking to do is shall and forcefully conscript independent members to permanently be part of the opposition. And that is unconstitutional. If you read the provisions of Article 71(1)(f), no one is mandatorily forced to belong to a political party. So I oppose it on the grounds that it's unconstitutional and it is bad in the spirit.
What are you opposing?
I oppose the motion.
You oppose the motion?
Yes.
And when we are debating at a time of leave, you only focus on object and principles, okay? Okay? And then when the member goes back to the first parliamentary council, because now is not yet given this advice. Maybe Attorney General can tell us. Because after this leave, the member will go to the Attorney General. Anything to do with unconstitutionality and all that, the Attorney General will guide. But now he's only saying, I have an interest of bringing a bill. Okay? Now the draft bill that he has, okay? Listen. The draft bill he has can go and be completely changed. Maybe Attorney General you can guide on that. Because when we start talking of unconstitutionality, then we've gone into the bill. Attorney General, you can guide on that?
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. My sister Adeke Ann, what we are doing now, we are discussing whether to grant leave or not. The motion was presenting what the mover considers to be the mischief, what he thinks we need to correct the anomalies he has found in dealing with the office of the leader of opposition. So he says, if you grant me leave, this is what I found to be wrong. While we have a leader of opposition, it is not inclusive of the rest of the opposition. It does not appear to be representative of the rest of the opposition. Plus, blah, blah, and the rest. Now the issue is, if we agree with that, we grant him leave. Then once the bill comes, we shall look at the contents of the bill. If they are contents that we believe are unconstitutional, we will deal with them accordingly. But for now,
I wanted mainly at your level. If you grant a member now, okay?
Yes.
Will he come to you, very polish?
The procedure.
Unconstitutional law? I want to understand. Yeah.
The procedure right now is that once he is granted leave, the law says he should be helped by the Office of Government, First Parliamentary Council, in drafting, meaning that we will iron out all the basics and present a bill that is palatable for debate.
Honorable Deke, continue.
Members of the bill. The main opposition, thus, I am a whip of the FDC and I speak for the FDC, and that is our position. I saw some.
Thank you. Honorable Javira.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, the little time I've been here, I've started to understand that presentation of bills and, of course, enactment of laws is a process. And it requires the valuable time of this august House. If this august House and already the people who are concerned, whom our colleagues, the honorable movers or co-movers or the ones requesting for the leave are fighting for, are already saying this bill, this motion is unnecessary because it will definitely get into an unnecessary bill that is going to be presented. So we are saying that our valuable time as this parliament cannot be wasted on a matter whose people it is supposed to fight for have found it irrelevant. Nobody is complaining. So we are, for us, we think that these people who are seeking leave, these colleagues who are seeking leave, are not doing it in the spirit of helping us, the opposition, but they are probably having other selfish interests, which we are. Thank you.
Point of order.
Honorable Speaker, I'm calling Wabsadi Stephen, representing the people of Shigai constituency in Abura district. Honorable Speaker, the time we have spent here, you have given due guidance in as far as we should move on this bill is concerned. On this motion is concerned. You have guided that this motion is supposed to go through due process. It is not worth debating. It is not worth giving any further guidance as far as it's concerned. We are simply, is it in order, Mr. Speaker, to continue elaborating, talking about what you have already given us, what you have guided us? Do we continue in the same way when you have fully given the guidance? Is it a bill already that he has continued referring to the bill, to the bill, to the bill? Why, Mr. Speaker, is it in order that we continue, depending on the same thing that you have already given us, the guidance? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Honorable colleague, it's in order. It's in order because I haven't closed the motion. Motion. Mr. Speaker,
Mr. Speaker, I beg that you put the question. Mr. Speaker, I beg that you put the question.
Honorable colleagues, honorable colleagues, I request you, that's not how you will be making me run the house here, okay?
Mr. Speaker.
Honorable, what you call a game, okay? Honorable, I now put the question, that the motion seeking leave of the House to introduce a private member's bill entitled the Administration of Parliament Amendment Bill be approved. Those in favor say unto the contrary, nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Namara, congratulations. Proceed. Seek the support of the Attorney General, of the clerk, consult, and do a bill that will address the concern that you managed to identify. Honorable colleagues, House is adjourned to tomorrow at 2 p.m.